I love that intro. But today, it's for Stonesy's Learning Corner, or Learning Corner of the day. We are learning about the Brittany. Not any Britney Spears, though. We're learning about the Brittany, the breed of dog. I love dogs. I have a basset hound at my feet, and one day we will be getting to basset hounds. But let me tell you something about the Brittany. First of all, these next select few of dogs are part of a sporting group of dogs. Now, there's many books on dog breeds, but I am reading specifically the Encyclopedia of Dog Breeds, second edition by D. Caroline Coley, Ph.D., profiles of more than 150 breeds, and this happens to be the first breed. Look at that cute little dog. See that on there? Now, let's learn about this little pupster and why it's part of the sporting group. Its history is in the mid-1800s, French sportsmen crossed their small land spaniels with English setters in attempts to produce a dog better suited for their needs. Some of the offspring were tallies, and other descendants continued to be tallies or subtailed. More importantly, they were excellent woodcock hunters with the strong noses. These dogs soon became popular not only with the French gentry, but also to be poachers because they would be both point and retrieve when they're exactly obedient, essential as qualities in the clandestine activities of the poachers. The first Brittany, or Egonial Breton, was registered in France in 1907. The Brittany came to America by Mexico around 1925. The breed took a while to be accepted, most likely because hunters expected a pointy dog to have a long tail. When the dogs were given a chance, however, they proved their mettle and have since become the most popular in all pointing breeds in all the fields. In fact, registrations eventually soared to place the Brittany among the top 20 in popularity, no doubt because of their bird hunting abilities, close-ranging hunting style, small size, and tractable nature. Although registered as Brittany Spaniel in the AKC from 1934, the word Spaniel was dropped in 1982 in recognition of the dog's hunting style, which is more like that of the setter of a setter than a spaniel. Their temperament of the Brittany is quick and curious, always on the lookout for birds or fun. It loves to run, scout, hunt, and play. It's an independent nature, befitting of the pointing breed, yet is sensitive and very responsive to human direction. The Brittany makes a good house pet as long as it receives daily mental and physical exercise. If not given sufficient exercise, it can become destructive. The upkeep of owning one of these adorable little destructive, cute sporting group dogs is the upkeep, and now for the upkeep. The Brittany is generally hardy dog that requires low maintenance. Its major requirement for abundant exercise is at least an hour of exertion, not just walking every day. For this reason, it is not suited for apartment life. It can live outdoors in temperament leather, but it is the social dog that needs human interaction. Its coat is not particularly thick or long, but it does require brushing once or twice weekly. Its major concerns in health is CHD. Its minor concerns is epilepsy, hyperthyroidism, occasionally seen, not. Suggested test is hip and thyroid, so their hips and their thyroids are very weak, and their lifespan is up to 12 to 13 years. I'm gonna pray any person listening to this with a dog covered their ears. Their form and function is the leggiest of the sporting breeds. The Brittany is a square proportion, the height of the shoulder equaling the length of the body. It stands slightly higher than the withers and the rump. It is medium size with light bone and a combination of long legs and light bone endos. The Brittany with remarkable agility and speed. In fact, the breed is very quick and is noted to be ground-covering side movement at their trot. The Brittany may be born tailless or have the tail docked about 4 inches. The breed's coat is far less profuse than the Spaniels and the other, either flat or wavy. An overly profuse coat is detrimental from hunting briars, and is considered a severe fault. The Brittany's expression is alert and eager, but soft. The eyes are protected from the briars by a fairly heavy eyebrow. The Brittany is an extremely athletic, eager dog that would be ready to able to run in the field for extended periods. And that is about everything you need to know about them. They have a little thing for at a glance, and their energy level is 4, their exercise requirements are 5, playfulness 4, affection level 5, friendliness towards dogs and towards other pets are 3, friendliness towards strangers is a 5, which is not good, watchdog capability is 4, protection ability 0, or 1, grooming requirements 1, cold tolerance 3, heat tolerance 3. They usually are a nice 30 to 40 pounds and are a height of 17.5 to 20.5 inches in height. But yeah, that is the Brittany dog. Stonesy's Learning Corner of the day. Doing it like Stonesy's way. Bop. Today we are learning about the dog breed titled the Pointer. Now, look at this little dog. You might know this dog from a few memes. For example, that one meme where he's looking out and it's from the pepperoni ad. You know the one. But let's now learn about this cute little dog called the pointer. We first need to learn about its history. Now, the history, or the earliest pointers were used in the 17th century, not to point birds, but to point hare, which of coursing, or bunnies, which coursing greyhounds were unleashing to pursue. When ring shooting became popular in the 18th century, the pointer found its place in an adept bird locator. The ideal dog would find game, indicate its location, and remain still until the hunter would find a ready shoot. The task is somewhat slow in old flintlock guns. The early pointer, probably included in its genetic makeup, found some most talented breed in existence: greyhounds, foxhounds, and bloodhounds, as well as an old type of setting spaniel. Different countries developed different pointer breeds. After the War of the Spanish Succession in 1713, British Army officers returned home to the heavy-boned Spanish pointers. They were later crossed with Italian pointers to produce the modern pointers. The modern pointer. Pointers became popular with the recreational hunting on large estates. Ideally, two pointers were used to be so that a hunter would locate a bird precisely by cross-referencing the dog's points. When dog shows became in vogue in the late 19th century, pointers were among the most prominent in the breed shown. In fact, the Westminster Kennel Club was organized primarily for pointers. Pointers remained very popular in the competitive field of trial dogs and recreational hunters. However, they are not popular as pets as many of the sporting breeds. Now, let's say you want to own one of these historic little dogs like that one. Look at that one with the white background. He's so good. And the other one's in the green field. Looks like it's in Iceland, even though it's green and it should be called Greenland, but that's besides the point. They're both such good little hunting dogs. But of course, you're going to want to know the temperament before you get this little silly dog. Well, the temperament of the pointer is a true, wide-ranging hunter, which means that it not only is an excellent bird dog, but also has the stamina to run for hours. Consequently, it needs a lot of exercise or it can become frustrated or destructive, because if it's ever on the lookout for birds, it is easily distracted from everyday matters. But it's nearly impossible to distract one once on point. It's gentle and sweet, but it may be too energetic and boisterous at time for very small children. Like many sporting breeds, it can be found in the field or show types. The field type is generally smaller, perhaps more active. Now, you know what this dog is, you want to own it, but of course, before you go do this purchase, your fantastic and smart mom stops you and goes, "Honey, what about the upkeep for these animals? We've learned about their temperaments. What about their upkeep?" Well, to you mothers out there, the upkeep of these funny little dogs is very simple. They need exercise, and lots of it. It needs at least an hour of exertion every day, and it's best when its regular opportunity is to hunt. It also enjoys running and searching for the wilds and long jaunts of field. At home, it needs space to exercise outdoors and should not be expected to sit inside all day. The pointer can live outdoors in temperament of warm climates, such as long given a soft bed and warm shelter. It needs canine or human companionship, however, and does far better when allowed to spend time with its family. It requires only occasional brushing to remove dead hair. So, the good sides, upsides is you don't need to brush them a lot. They rarely shed, but the downsides is you better be really into exercise. So all my gym nerds and, what are you? Sigma alpha males? This dog's for you. Now, of course, now we get to the scary stuff. The health. Its major concerns are entropion, and minor concerns are CHD, hyperthyroidism, and occasionally has cataract problems and deafness. Suggested tests are hip, eye, and thyroids. Those are the places you should get this dog tested at all times. Its lifespan can be up to 12 to 15 years. And a note to know about it is it's prone to tail tip injuries. Basically, it's known to lie about injuries for attention or, to actually show them. Hard to say. Now, the form and function of these cute little pointer dogs is the pointer combines athletic grace and the power of the lean, muscular body, noble head, alert expression, and noble carriage. The gait is smooth and powerful, the head and the health high, and the nostrils wide, enable it to cover a lot of ground while searching for airborne scent. The tail lashes from side to side when the dog gaits. The pointer closed coat is short and dense, giving them a streamlined appearance. Field-type pointers tend to hold their tails upright when on point. Basically, if you see this dog's tail going up, kind of similar to the dog in the nice grass field, it usually means it's seeing something, smelling something, or, Now, these dogs have a 4 in energy level, exercise requirements, playfulness, affection level, a friendliness towards dogs, friendliness towards other pets. They have a 3 for friendliness towards strangers, so they might not be your best friend if they don't know them. They have a 3 in ease of training, so they might be a little difficult, but not the worst. They have a 4 in watchdog ability, so they are a very good watchdog. That little tail thing might be a fantastic indicator. They have a 3 in protection ability. Like I said, these dogs are more pointers, not necessarily hunters, but they are good for having when you're a hunter. They only have a 1 in grooming requirements, which is fantastic for dogs, because, grooming them all the time might be a little bad. I think they forget to mention that these dogs have a little claws, and those need to be cut a long time, but, I think that's just a thing for all dogs. They have a 3 in both cold tolerance and hot tolerance, so I think that's more of a little mid-range of, get them a little coat or a little smoothie when it gets too hot or too cold. The weight of a male is 55 to 75 pounds, and a female is 45 to 65 pounds. The height of a male is 25 to 28 inches, and a female is 23 to 26. So I think the females are more built for protecting in round areas, and the males are more for outside exercise by the seam of their build. So today, our dog breed of the day, or the thing we're learning about in Stonesy's Reading Corner, is the German Shorthaired Pointer. Look at him! Look at him! Last time we learned about the normal pointer, and we did actually have a little talk about the different types of breeds of pointers. So I think this one and the next few ones are going to be about the different breeds of pointers. So this episode, next episode, this episode and the next episode are going to talk about 2 specific breeds, both German. So let's today teach you about the German Shorthaired Pointer. As a German myself, I like this dog. Look at him. He's so silly. He's like, doesn't know where he is. Funny doggy. He looks like a cow, but he's not a cow. He's great. But, of course, I can't make fun of something without knowing its history. Now, the history of the German Short-Haired Pointer, say that 10 times fast. The German Short-Haired Pointer is one of the most versatile of hunting breeds, combining pointing, retrieving, trailing, and even game-killing abilities. This versatility arose through the purposeful blending of various breeds beginning as early as the 17th century, crosses the Spanish Pointer, a heavy type of pointer, with a Hanover Hound, a strain of scent hounds, released in a heavy hound-like dog, which could both trail and point as interested in both birds and mammals. When trailing, these dogs would bay, if needed. They would be dispatched wounded game and even fox, although the early breeders agreed upon the goal of a purpose hunting dog. Not all agreed upon how to achieve it. Crosses with the English pointer were controversial, but bestowed upon the breed a more stylish look and nose-up hunting mode. It also imparted a dislike of water and an aversion of attacking quarry. Further breeding eliminated these unwanted pointer characteristics in the early 1800s. 2 Dutch Koershaus, as breeders originally known, Nero and Turf, distinguished themselves against other pointing breeds of the German Derby, and the success of their descendants were often credited with modern short-haired foundation. The breed was recognized in the late 1800s in Germany, with the first short-haired coming to America in the 1920s. The German short-haired pointer gained AKC recognition in the 1930s. The breed soon gained a reputation as the ideal dog for a hunter who wanted only one dog and that could do it all. Besides being gifted with a versatile hunter and a handsome dog and obedient companion, these attributes helped the German short-haired pointer become popular today. Oh, so he's another hunter like the nice little pointer from where was it? Ireland, I believe. England with the British Army. But this one is a little bit better, but also kind of worse. He's a better pointer dog, but he's horrible at swimming. So that seems about right. Now, of course, let's say you read that history and now you want to own this little doggy. First, you're going to want to know the temperament. Now, the temperament of the German short-haired pointer is that the idea of heaven is a day hunting in the field and an evening curled up by its owner's side for these dogs. This is an active dog that becomes frustrated and creative if not given ample daily exercise, both mental and physical. It is a devoted family pet, although at times it is overly boisterous for small children. Because a part of its heritage includes hunting mammals, some of the aggressive and small pets, unless raised with them. It's a sensitive breed. Response to general training, some can whine or bark a lot. So, these might be fantastic hunting dogs and might be good if you live in the woods alone and, have a rocking chair that you're going to probably lie on. But, aside from that, it's not great with pet kids. It's not great with little dogs. It's just a good one-for-one hunting dog. You know what I mean? Although it needs a lot of exercise, so pick your poison. The upkeep of these little German short-haired pointers, or these silly little dogs, is that they're bred to be an active hunting companion. This breed is a good deal of energy and requires a good deal of exercise. It thrives on mental and physical stimulation and get both by hunting, hiking, or playing with his owner a long period, at least an hour every day. They like water and they'll swim if given the chance. Although physically able to live outside of the mild weather, it's a companionable breed that does best when allowed to live in the house with access to a yard. Its grooming needs are minimal, consisting of only occasional brush to remove dead hair. So yeah, like I said, easy to take care of, just not great with other people, I guess. So I mean, if you and your wife get this dog, you guys will be fine, but like, watch out, because they're bred hunters. So yeah, that's the upkeep for these little guys. And of course, you got to go to their health, which the major concerns is lymphedema. The minor concerns are CHD, entropin, gastric torsion, VWD, panis, OCD, hypothyroidism. That seems like a common thing for all these dogs is hypothyroidism. They're occasionally seen with entropin, PRA, and cardiomyopathy. I'm sorry. And suggested tests are hip, eye, VWD, cardiac, thyroid. So yeah, any dog that has a lot of runs, do a lot of running, should probably be checked for cardiac, thyroid, or hip and eye. And their lifespan is up to 12 to 14 years, which is more than the average. Their form and function is the short-haired is an all-purpose closed-working gun dog and combines agility, power, and endurance. It's square and slightly longer than tall. Although it has a short back and it stand over plenty ground, it would be clean-cut head, gracefully outlined, strong quarters, and athletic physique. It gaited smooth, light, and ground covering. The coat is short and tough. Now, if we go to the little table here, its energy level is at a 5. Hot dang. Its exercise requirement is also at a 5. Hot dang. Playfulness is at a 4. Affection level at a 4. Friendliness towards dogs is at a 3. Friendliness towards other pets is a 2. Friendliness towards strangers is a 3. Ease of training is a 3. Watchdog capability is a 5. Hot dang. Protection ability is a 3. Grooming requirements is a 1. Cold tolerance and heat tolerance is a 3. So this is an all-around good dog if you don't have any kids. But yeah, that ends it for today. So I hope you guys have a super fantastic, wonderful day. Be polite, be efficient, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye! The German wire-haired pointer. The German wire-haired pointer. It's like the other German pointer, the German short-haired pointer from last episode, if you haven't seen it. But this one's a little more fluffy. Look at him. He's so fluffy. It probably means he needs to be groomed a lot. You know, like given a lot of brushing and stuff. But we'll learn about that, so I can't make fun of a dog until I know their history, of course. So, when game bird shooting became accessible to persons of the average means, demand for both specialist and versatile hunting breeds soared. The quest for versatile breeds reached its height in Germany, and the German Wirehound Pointer represents one of the most successful results. Hunters wanted a dog that would locate and point upland game, track wounded game, confront tough vermin, retrieve waterfowl from the land or water, also function as a companion and watchdog. It developed to be a close worker of any kind of terrain. Though a rough, wiry coat was needed to hunt these dense brambles, an important ancestor was the poodle pointer, itself a combination of an old German poodle and a pointer, which was crossed with an early German short-haired pointer, griffon, Stichelhaar, and Polish water dog. The breed, known as the Drathar in Germany, has since become the most popular hunting breed in Germany. Nonetheless, it is not recognized here officially until the 1920s, the same time where Wirehair became to America. The German Wirehead Pointer was recognized in America in the 1959 and has never gained the popularity that they enjoy in their native land. Oh, so I think this is like a little German-only dog. But honestly, I think I've seen a dog like this before in the Americas, so maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, the temperament of the German Wirehaired Pointer is both a rugged bird dog and an unamiable companion. It has the energy to hunt for hours, so it must be given a daily outlet lest it become destructive. It is a responsive breed, although it tends to be stubborn when it gains a guarding instinct, so it tends to be aloof, being protective towards strangers as well as strange dogs. It's generally good, if sometimes overly boisterous with children. It is ideal for the outdoor-oriented person wanting to be tireless, weatherproof, and intelligent partner. So basically, they're very protective, but they're not very smart, which is okay. I have a very, very smart little Bubba's over on my bed right now who's looking at me and being like, "What are you doing, Dad?" That's my dog, Roscoe. He's a Basset Hound. So these dogs have a lot in common. Ain't that right, Bubby? Oh, he's lying down now. Okay, cool. Ignore me then. Now, for these little cute dogs like I have right here, you need to know the upkeep. The upkeep of these dogs is the exercise is a daily requirement for this energetic hunter. At least an hour a day of exertion is recommended, but the ideal situation would combine exercise and hunting and chance to run and explore a field. As a breed that thrives on human companionship, it does best as a house dog with access to the outdoors. Like most harsh coats, some minimal hand stripping may occasionally be needed to maintain a sleek outline. Otherwise, brushing about once a week will suffice. GWPs are low shedders. For their health, the major concern is CHD. The minor concerns are hyperthyroidism. They are occasionally seen with seizures, entropy, elbow dysplasia, heart disease, gastric torsion. Probably because they keep their nose to the ground so much. Their suggested test is hip, elbow, cardiac, thyroid. Their lifespan is 12 to 14 years. It's the same thing with the German shorthaired. And the form and function is a sturdy build hunter. A German wire-haired pointer should be able to hunt all the way through all types of cover. It's slightly longer than all tall, enabling the gait to free and smooth. The weather-resistant, straight, wiry coat is essential breed characteristic. The outer coat is about 1 to 2 inches long and long enough to protect against brambles, but not so long that the outline of the dog is obscured. The eyebrows, beard, and whiskers are a medium length. The undercoat is thick in winter for warmth and thin summer. Oh, so they call it a mustache and a beard. That's really cute. Now, you want to know the at a glance of this? This dog has an energy level and the exercise requirements of 5, so again, like the short-haired dog, you're probably going to want to have this dog when you want to go running or hunting. Their playfulness is a 4, so they're pretty silly dogs. Their affection levels is 3, so they're kind of kind. Friendliness towards other dogs and friendliness towards strangers is a 2. Like I said, they're pretty protective. But the friendliness towards their pets is a 3. Like it said earlier, they can easily be distracted and protect another pet. There are 3 when it comes to ease of training, so not the easiest, but not the most difficult either. Their watchdog ability is a 5, so you already know this dog could defend you at any point. Protection ability is a 4, so they not only can they protect you, but they can also attack back if need be. The grooming requirements is a 3, which is the highest we've seen so far, which makes sense because these dogs are 60% hair. And of course, their cold and heat tolerance is a 3, which I don't think is going to change for any of these dogs anytime soon, honestly, or at least I haven't seen one yet. Their average weight is 45 to 75 pounds between both breeds, but for male height, they're 24 to 26 inches, and for female, they're smaller, but not under 22 inches. So, 23. I just guess they didn't want to write down 23. Next time, you guys will be learning about in corner of the day. Today, we are learning about the Chesapeake Bay Retriever. Look at him. He's so silly. Look at this silly doggy. Oh my goodness. Look at him. It's like, no. Alright, I'm gonna stop moving the image before I forget where it goes. Alright. Please do not call this dog the Chesapeake Bay Retriever. I think they're very sensitive. At least that face looks very sensitive. Look at him. He's so silly. But, of course, I can't say that without knowing his history. You can never make fun of someone or something without knowing their history. That's just rude. So the history of the Chesapeake Bay Retriever is the history of the Chesapeake Retriever is one of the most fascinating and fortunate in dogdom, or the dog kingdom. In 1807, an American ship rescued the crew and cargo from the shipwrecked English brig off the coast of the Maryland. Among these rescued are 2 presumably new-fondled puppies, and were given the rescuers. These pups, one black and one red, later proved to be skilled water retrievers. And as their reputations grew, many local retrievers of uncertain background came to be bred with them. It also thought that Irish Water Spaniel, Newfoundland, Bloodhound, and other local hound crosses that are development of the breed gradually a distinct local breed emerged, a dog that would repeatedly swim through the icy waters of the Chesapeake Bay and unearningly retrieve duck after duck. Even today, the Chessie is renowned for its remarkable ability to mark and remember where the bird has fallen. His reputation spread and fell beyond the Chesapeake Bay area. By 1885, the breed was thoroughly established and recognized by the AKC. Despite being one of the oldest AKC recognized breeds, and as well as one of the few breeds that can boast of being made in the United States, the Chessie's popularity was remained modest. You know that means we have our first American doggy. Look at him. He's an American blood and brown. So basically, these dogs were good because they were the original breeds of a lot of good hound dogs and different types of retrievers, such as the the bloodhound, the basset hound, which is one of my favorites, and a few other animals. But yep, look at him. He's silly. Now, of course, now you see this, you know their history. You're gonna go to your little cocktail parties and tell all your friends, or hey, you're probably 6 years old, or listening to this in class, and your teacher's like, "Oh, can we please watch the leading corner of the day?" Okay, but only because you're very good. And now you're here. So now you want to get one of these dogs. You're sitting there in class, you want to go to lunch right now, and you're like, "Oh, I want one of those dogs." So you got to know their temperament. Of course, this is more for parents, but what do I know? The temperament of the Chesapeake Bay Retriever is hardy enough with not only to withstand, but also relish repeated plunges through icy water. It loves to swim and retrieve. Despite an active life when outdoors, despite it tends to be calm, the Chessie tends to be independent, though it's eager to learn and is reserved with strangers and can be protective. It also can be aggressive towards strange dogs if challenged. This is not the hardest, most strong-willed and protective of the Retriever breeds. Upkeep. And now you know the temperament. They're kind of hard to people. They'll look at you and be like, "Oh, well, I don't like you." But, to other people, they'll be like, "Well, you know what? You're pretty cool. You're my best friend now." So, they're like that one kid. That one kid. But yeah, now you want to know the upkeep. How does this doggy be a doggy? What do you have to look out for? What do you need to know? Now, the upkeep of the Chessie is a large, active dog that needs a daily chance to exercise. It enjoys a good walk or swim. It can live outside of the temperate conditions, but more than anything, it prefers to spend time with its family. The oily, wavy coat needs weekly brushing, but is generally easily maintained. It seldom needs washing. In fact, it's hard to get the Chessie wet. Bathing destroys the coat's oils, and thus, it's water resistance. Oh my goodness, a dog that's waterproof. Kind of like another type of water dog that I love, the seal. So basically, this dog is waterproof, and it's really hard to get this dog or keep him wet because of the oils that's in its fur, its coat. It's hard to explain. But yeah, so basically just go take this doggy out for a walk, brush his hair every week, and you'll be fine. Now, you got to talk about the health. It's always the worry part of owning a dog. I own a Basset Hound. I know the worst of it. Now, your major concerns are CHD and gastric torsion, which your teacher can look up for you if you really want to know the terms. The minor concerns are PRA, hyperthyroidism, and it's occasionally seen with ethropin, OCD, elbow dyslopia, cerebral atrophy. I'm bad at reading these words. But yes, even dogs can get OCD. Ain't that scary? Suggested tests are the hip, eye, and thyroid. So go get your dog tested every other month for their hips, eyes, and thyroids. And their lifespan is up to 10 to 13 years. Oh wow, they have a long lifespan, or at least longer than a lot of the dogs we've already read about. Now, the form and function of these cute little dogs is, well, it's what you make it, but this is what the book suggests, what their breed is known for. This is what they're best. This is the peak of their body. This is what they're built for, man. And the Chesapeake Bay Retriever was built and developed to hunt waterfowl under the adverse conditions, facing strong tides with rough water, high winds, and sometimes even having to break through ice. It's an extraordinary swimmer with strong yet tender bite, enabling to carry birds. Its powerful limbs and webbed feet. The Chessie is also slightly longer than tall, and its hindquarters are as high and higher as its forequarters, and its coat is rendered virtually waterproof. By virtue its oily, harsh outer coat and dense woolly undercoat. The color matches his working surroundings, any shade of brown, sage, or dead grass. Basically, this is your hunting dog. It's going to go get you duckies, and then you're going to have a yummy dinner. And that's basically it. But if you want to look at a glance, the energy levels, exercise requirements, and playfulness of this dog are at a 3. So not much. The affection level is at a 4, so they love you. The friendliness towards dogs and other pets is a 3, so they're decently friendly, just not the friendliness. They're not very friendly towards strangers, though, with a 2 scoring. The ease of training and protection ability is at a 3, so they'll protect you, but not the best. Their watchdog ability is a 4, meaning they can sense really well. Their grooming requirements is a 2, so, you don't really need to groom them a lot. And cold tolerance and heat tolerance is finally not both 3. They can tolerate the cold more, but the heat not so much. For a male, they're up to 65 to 80 pounds. For a female, it's 55 to 70 pounds is usually their healthy weight. The height of a male is 23 to 26 inches, and the female is 21 to 24 inches. Let's hope that doesn't mean feet, because that would be a big doggy. But we are going to be reading about a big dog like that one of these times. Curly-coated retriever, or, as I like to call it, the learning corner of the day. Now, today we are learning about the curly-coated retriever. If that name kind of sounds familiar, it rhymes really well with the Chesapeake Bay Retriever. This is another retriever. This is another silly doggy, except this doggy is fluffy. Now, it's kind of messed up that we're talking about dogs after the book we just read, but can we not talk about that? Seriously, why did you bring that up? That's not nice. Anywho, let's find out stuff about the curly-coated retriever with an even easier name. Of course, they can come in multiple colors, from brown, black, and I've even seen gray. But we can talk about it more in this story here. Now, we need to know the history before I can start assuming the color of their fluff, even though they're very fluffy. Oh, did you just want to pet them? Oh, they're great. All right. So, the history of the curly-coated retriever is it is one of the oldest and most distinctive of the retriever breeds. The curly-coated retriever may have been used in England before retrieving as long ago in the late 18th century. Although its exact origin remains conjectural, it probably stems from crosses and descendants of the Old English water dog with the Irish water spaniel and the small type of the Newfoundland. These breeds together combine some of the finest water dogs in existence into one animal. Later crosses into a poodle, a fine water retriever in its own right, served to further enhance the twilight curls by the mid-1800s. The curly-coated retriever was one of the most popular retrievers in England, prized not only for once surpassed retrieving abilities, but is also a staunch and trustworthy companion. It was among the first breeds to be exhibited by the English dog shows. Exports to Australia and New Zealand were well received, and the breed still enjoys great popularity there. The first exports to America were in 1907. With the breed receiving an AKC recognition in 1924. The breed never became particularly popular in America, however. Even popularity in the curly in England waned during the 1900s. One theory about its fall in popularity is several and typical curlies gave the breed the undeserved reputation as hard-mouthed retrievers, causing newer hunters to choose other retrievers. Those who gave curly a chance have found that the breed is actually quite soft-mouthed. They also find that it makes a versatile family companion. So basically, these little puppies were not accepted into the retriever family, although they are retrievers because of how kind they are and how fluffy they are, which confuses me because I thought they would be as hard-mouthed, but, could be blended in with sheep, so they could be even better hunting dogs, but I guess not. Now, I know what they said. They just said, and quote, they also find that it makes a versatile family companion, but is that really the truth? We need to know the temperament before we can think of this guy as our little family companion, okay? So, the temperament of the curly-coated retriever is an eager and tireless land and especially water retriever outdoors, but a calm companion indoors. It is sensitive and gentle, very good with children, and responsive to the commands. It is reversed with strangers. One of the most outrageous of the retrievers is nonetheless quite sensitive. It makes an ideal partner for an active, outdoor-oriented person who also wants a loyal family companion. So basically, these guys are, oh my goodness, I love you, owner, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then when they look at someone else, they're like, okay, who are you? Get out of my house. But, you have a great family dog and a fantastic defender of your home. But does that really mean anything? We need to know what keeps these animals up at night, or I guess the upkeep. Not what's up at night, but whatever. We don't want to scare the pup. Look at that pup. Especially if you're a stranger, in which case, it's gonna nom you. Probably, most likely. But the upkeep of the curly-coated retriever is an easy dog to maintain, requiring no unusual care. It needs daily exercise, preferably involving swimming and retrieving. It can live outdoors in temperate weather, and it does best as an indoor-outdoor dog, because brushing diminishes the tight curls. It would be combed only occasionally, preferably before getting wet. It would become very minimal scissoring, may be desirable to tidy up scraggly hairs, and it does not need regular brushing during the shedding seasons. So basically, while this dog sheds during spring, or, sometimes during fall, depending the breed of dog, I think retrievers fall into that thing, you're going to have to brushy this dog. That's okay. That's 100% fine. And you need to brush him once in a while. I would say once every 3 days. So Monday you brush him, Tuesday you don't, Wednesday you don't, Thursday you do. But if it becomes spring or fall, you might want to do it every other day, or maybe even every day during a certain time of the day where they're very compliant. Now, the health of these dogs, part of the thing of being a pet owner that no one likes. I hate doing this too. The major concerns of this animal is the CHD. Minor concerns are none, so all you have to do is watch out for the major thing of CHD, which I think is chronic hair disorder. Basically, they have trouble growing hair, or, they grow too much hair. They are occasionally seen with dysgenesis, cataract, so basically they can go blind, or they can I think the second one is they can damage their paws sort of easy, or you always have to keep an eye on it. Which long leg dogs you'll have to look at. The suggested tips, the suggested tests are hips. So you take your doggy to the doctor and hips. And their lifespan is 8 to 12 years, so not as long as the other breeds. But honestly, it's a good family dog. It's a good first dog. It's all saying it's a pretty good dog. Now, the form and function of these animals, although we have said it's a family dog, they also have a form and function. What if I'm a big strong man or big strong woman? I don't need no dog. So what if we want a dog but no family? Now, the form and function of the curly-coated retriever is it is the most graceful and elegant of the retrievers, appearing longer-legged and more agile than the others. It is alert, upright carriage, enabling its mark down enemies easily. Be they fur or feather, it is an active land retriever and a hardy water retriever, able to withstand the rigors of repeated retrievers into heavy thickets or cold waters. Its distinctive coat provides protection from cold and briars and is made up of a dense mass of tight curls. Now, basically, this fluff makes them not feel the cold, meaning they can go in the water easier. Now, that's a good thing and a bad thing because that coat can weigh them down, but apparently, seeing their fur being wet could also mean, hey, my dog was in water when I shot down that duck hunt style, So basically, these dogs are fantastic for if you are a hunter. No matter if you do or don't hunt, or if you're hunting something such as deer, these dogs are fantastic. So not only are they a good family dog, but they're also a good retriever, and, so you can play catch with them, with a ball, or with a duck. I don't know why you'd throw a duck at them, but whatever. Now we have to look at the final thing of today, at a glance. The simple numbers. Now, I'm going to explain this right now. 5 means, oh my goodness, I love you, this is the best. 4 means, this is pretty good, all things considered. 3 means it's average, pretty good. I mean, I know Joey over there, the dog, can do it. 2 means it's kind of a problem, or it's pretty low. It could go higher, it could go lower, just something to keep an eye on. And 1 usually means it's the worst. The worst or the best. It could be either or, depending on what the tier is. Now, for the energy level, exercise requirements, and playfulness, affection level, and friendliness towards dogs, these are a 3. It's basically the average dog. Hey, can I sniff your butt? Yes, if you can sniff my butt. And they're also very energy, yes. Exercise, yes. Playfulness, yes. They're a silly puppy. They're an average silly doggy. You're not going to find that in a Chihuahua. Chihuahuas are going to go and run everywhere. They have energies of freaking jet planes. That's a lot of energy. This dog, average energy. Now, friendliness towards other pets is a 4. Oh my goodness, they love other pets. Oh my goodness, are you a hamster in a ball? I'm gonna roll you around and then lay next to you. You are my best friend. The friendliness towards strangers is a 2. So basically, it's your call. Hey, owner, I know you invited this person into our home, but do I bite them or do I not bite them? That's up to you. That's just me. Now, the ease of training is a 3. You're going to have some trouble. You're not going to have some trouble. Depending how you treat the breed, depending how you treat the dog. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Same thing for animals. Now, their protection ability is a 2. Now, they might ask you, hey, you want me to bite this guy? But they might just bite and then feel bad about it. So, it's a 2. Now, the grooming requirements, and this is where number 1 becomes either really bad or really good, is a 1. You want that grooming requirement to be very low because grooming can become a chore if it's way too much. I know certain animals, such as the husky, have a grooming requirement of like 5 million because I used to own a husky and I loved him very much, and his name was Smokey, and I really miss him. He died a few years ago. It made me sad. He was a big marshmallow, and I'm hoping to get another husky like him. But that's besides the point. Grooming requirement is a 1. You need to brushy this dog and make him your perfect little Barbie girl in his own Barbie world. Only sometimes. The cold tolerance is at a 4, which I think is the first for a cold tolerance going up to 4. Yep, with the Chesapeake Bay Retriever being the first for a heat tolerance up to 4. Yep, cold tolerance up to a 4. This doggy loves the winter. And don't think that coat fools you, because the heat tolerance is a 3, which is average. Basically, it can go outside in the heat and be okay, which makes no sense to me. Oh, did you guys hear that loud boom in my microphone? That was lightning. I'm in a thunderstorm right now. It's very beautiful. I'm in a hurricane. I think it's called Hurricane Donna. I don't know. That's just the time of the recording. I'll be fine. But yeah, the average weight, no matter if they're male or female, is 60 to 70 pounds. So these are big doggies. And the height for a male is 25 to 27 inches, and for a female is 23 to 25 inches. Now, Are these actually ever measured by inches? I couldn't tell you. But that's what I'm going to say they are. And what I'm also going to say is a learning corner. Yep, we are at the learning corner. Oh my goodness, look at the puppies. Look at those puppies. They're so cute. Is that my mouse there? That is my mouse there. I didn't know if that went through or if that was in the image. But today we are learning about the flat-coated retriever. It's a cute little puppo. Look at him. He's silly. We're going to be on retrievers for a long time. With next episode's actual dog being a retriever as well, which is not going to be that big of a surprise, considering most of the retrievers. Now, look at that little puppy. And look how he's being silly with his friend. He has even bigger coat than the retriever we learned of last episode, the curly-coated retriever. So, now, Stonesy Boy reading fans, what is the history of this silly, big-haired dog? We've had retrievers from the Americas, retrievers from England, retrievers from Ireland and France. So what is the story of this retriever? Now, the history of the flat-coated retriever, it is one of the earliest uses of the retrieving dogs was to help fishermen retrieve fish and objects from the water. In the 19th century, such retrieving dogs were especially popular in the codfishes found in Newfoundland. Of these dogs, the most popular breeds were the Labrador, not to be confused with the present Labrador Retriever, and several sizes of the Newfoundlands. With development of the more advanced firearms, hunters were increasingly able to shoot on the wing, but they needed a dog to mark the fallen bird and bring it back. The fishery dogs were unrivaled swimmers and natural retrievers, and crosses between them and British breeds such the setters and pointers honed the dog's bird sense. The results of the wavy-coated retriever, and it became quite popular in America and England. In fact, it was among the earliest breeds to be shown at English dog shows. Near the end of the 1800s, crosses of the straighter-haired breed were made because of the wavy coat was thought to be less water repellent. The resulting flat-colored retrievers became tremendously popular. The breed was not recognized in the AKC until 1915, by which time it had already begun to drop in popularity by the end of the Second World War. The number of flat coats had dwindled to the point that the breed had threatened with extinction. Concerted efforts were trying to bring the breed back slowly succeeded, and the flat coat now enjoys modest popularity. So this dog used to be very popular, and is actually another type of curly-coated retriever, except, with his hair brushed. So that's kind of cute. And it was almost extinct, which was not cute, but it's still up and running. Look at these little guys. He's so silly. Now, you know the sad backstory of the flat-coated retriever and how it's basically a carbon copy of the curly-coated retriever. But what is the temperament? Is it the same temperament as the other retriever? Well, the temperament of the flat-coated retriever is sweet, exuberant, and lively dog that loves to play and retrieve. It's a go outdoors, but be quiet indoors. This breed is among the most devoted and companionable of the dogs. A true family dog, it needs regular exercise to be on its best behavior. However, it's a sensitive breed and very responsive to training. Its hallmark is wagging tail. Basically, if you want to know if he's been good or bad, it's going to wag its butt. It's going to wag its tail at you. That's the truth. Now, great family dog, great companion, but what am I going to have to do for this dog? I mean, this dog has way more hair and way more straighter hair than the curly dog, so is it going to need more grooming? Well, to answer that, the upkeep of this dog is it's an active dog and needs daily exercise and fun, especially enjoys the chance to hunt and swim. This is a family-oriented dog that is not best when allowed to live inside and play outside, and the coat needs weekly brushing and little, if any, minor trimming occasionally. So this dog is going to need a little bit more grooming and a little bit more brushing. So, hey, that sucks, but he's a good dog. Now, the health of this dog is always the worst part. Hate doing this part. But the major concerns are none. Wow. So this is a lot healthier of a dog. There's no major concerns, but there are minor concerns of CHD, glaucoma, patellar luxation, hemangorascoma, osteosarcoma, lymphosarcoma, and gastric torsion. Basically, this dog has a sensitive stomach. This dog has sensitive ears and sensitive paws, to my understanding. It's occasionally seen having seizures and diabetes. Did you know dogs can have diabetes? I didn't. And its suggested tests are eye, hip, and knee. But I would also suggest, oh wait, never mind, it says head. Never mind. Yep. Eye, hip, knee, and head. Cool. Now, you know the horrible test of the doggies, and now, let me tell you, what's the form and function of these dogs? I don't have a family. So, what's the form and function? Well, its power without lumber and raciness towards weakness is a traditional description of the flat-coated retriever. It's strong but elegant, never cobby, among the most streamlined of the retrievers and slightly longer than tall, of moderate substance. His head is distinctive, long in one piece, all parts flowing smoothly into each other. The gait is ground covering, smooth and efficient. The coat is thick and flat, the only moderate length, providing protection without adding weight. These attributes have resulted in a versatile, athletic hunter capable of retrieving over land and water. So this doggy is pretty good at hunting. I think all retrievers are. I mean, they're named Retriever. But yeah, let's look at the final thing today, which is the at a glance. The energy level and oh yeah, right. 5 stars is it's the best or it's the worst. 4 stars means it's pretty good or it's pretty bad. 3 stars is it's average. No questions asked. It's pretty average or it's kind of bad, 2 stars, it's kind of bad or it's pretty good. Or 1 star is it's really bad or it's really good. Now, the energy level and exercise requirements are average. They average exercise, they run around, they fall asleep, they go, and then, they go to bed. The playfulness of this dog is at a 4, so they're very silly little puppies. The first 5 star of this channel is a affection level, so they love. They have a love affection level of 5. The friendliness towards dogs is a 3, and the friendliness towards other pets and towards strangers is a 4, which could be bad, but also could be good. The ease of training is also a 5, so these dogs are very easy to train. They are very affectionate, and they're very easy to train. The watchdog capability is a 4 too, so they might be friendly towards strangers, but if you tell them not to be, they won't be. How interesting. Their protection ability, though, is a 2, so that could be bad. So they can call someone out, but they can't attack, which sucks, but it's okay. Their grooming requirements is a 2, which fights the grooming requirements of the curly-coated retriever, which was a 1. So they need, like I said, bi-weekly or every week they need a groom, but, And back to normal, the cold tolerance and heat tolerance are at a 3, so pretty average. They can take the cold, but they don't want to. They can take the heat, but they don't want to. You get it. Now, the weight of the flat-coated retriever for both men and women should be at 60 to 70 pounds for healthiness, and for the height, a male should be 23 to 24.5 inches tall, and a female should be 22 to 23.5 inches tall. And, with that out of the way, that is the end. Next episode, we have a very famous breed of retriever, which is, fun fact about the golden retriever, it is the front cover of the Encyclopedia of Dog Breeds. It is the big dog in the front of the book. Now, what else is good about the golden retriever? Look at that face. He's so silly. He's a silly little dummy dog. If you turn this image upside down, which, I would never do, of course, because I'm a mature individual, his face looks like the McDonald's symbol. But yes, I can make fun of the dog, or can I? Because I don't know the history of the dog, and you can't make fun of something unless you know the history. Now, the history of the golden retriever, one of the most famous breeds of retrievers. Even little kids know what it is because of a certain dog in Paw Patrol. The history of the golden retriever is one of the best documented and most fortuitous efforts to produce the breed resulted in the golden retriever. The man responsible for the breed was Lord Tweedmouth, funny name, who lived just north of the Scottish border along the Tweed River, which is interesting interest in retrieving dogs in the mid-1800s. A dog could push through heavy vegetation, brave colder, swim strongly, and retrieve gently on demand. Lord Tweedmouth bred Noose, a yellow wavy coated retriever, a descendant of the small Newfoundland and earlier Labrador breeds used by fishermen, to Belle, a Tweed Water Spaniel, a popular liver-colored retriever and tightly curled coat. They produced 4 puppies, which showed promise of the outstanding upland bird dogs. Subsequent Judaeus crosses were made with the other black retrievers, Tweed Spaniels, Setters, and even a bloodhound. The breed was first considered to be a yellow variety of flat-coated retrievers, but was recognized as a separate breed of the yellow or golden retriever in 1912. Of these few dogs had come to America by the way of Lord Tweedmouth's sons by 1900, but the AKC did not register them as a separate breed until the 1927s. The breed was valued for hunting ability, so aptly produced by the careful blending of foundation stock. It only later became popular as a pet, show dog, and obedience competitor. After it made the transition, however, it rise to height of popularity was meteoric, and it remains one of the most popular of all breeds in America. That's right. It is one of the most popular popular breeds of retriever. You want to talk about retrievers? You say, oh, is that a golden retriever? When I was a kid, I mistook every retriever as a golden retriever. But now I'm an adult, and I can't mistake that, or else I will be made fun of. Speaking of having bad temperament, what is the temperament of the golden retriever? You know, you just learned the lesson how
Sir Lord Tweedmouth of the Tweed River has now breeded the dogs, and his sons went out and spread the breed.
he also made the first ever flat-coated retriever, which if you go into the last episode, you would find we talked about. Now, the golden retriever, the beautiful dog, beautiful dog. What's their temperament? You want to own this, don't you? So the temperament of the golden retriever is, well, simply put, it's everyone's friend. The golden retriever is known as devoted and obedient nature as a family companion. It is apt for sporting retriever as well, and yearns for the days in the field. That's not good wording. Ignoring its active nature and powerful physique can lead to behavior problems. It needs daily physical and mental exercise. Poorly bred Goldens may be overly exuberant and boisterous, but the correct Golden is eager to please and enjoys learning. Well-trained and exercised Goldens are calm and manly at home and enthusiastic when invited to play. The Golden achievements in competitive obedience are remarkable. It especially enjoys games that involve retrieving and loves to carry items in its mouth. So, if you have the golden retriever, it's a great dog. If you have a golden pug retriever, you might have a little problem. Now, you know the history. You know it's man's best friend, dog's best friend, others' best friend. Now, what is the upkeep? I want this dog. My kid is listening to this, wants this dog. But how do I keep it up? The upkeep of the golden retriever, it needs daily exercise and human interaction. Challenging obedience lessons, active games, or retrieving sessions are all good ways for the exercise of the golden's mind and body. Although it is capable of living outdoors, it is such a social dog that is best when it shares its life and its family. The coat does not tend to mat, but needs twice weekly brushing. Okay, so you've got to brush this dog's coat twice a week. That's kind of, that's up there when it comes to grooming capabilities. I mean, the flat-coated retriever only needed it once a week. So the more we go on with the retrievers, maybe the more you need to brush them and turn them into your perfect little Ken doll. But that's just me saying it. Now, the worst part, I hate this part. You could skip this part if you want, but as a pet owner, you shouldn't. What is the health requirements of these animals? Now, your major concerns when it comes to the golden retriever is CHD, skin problems, allergies, hot spots, ear infections when it comes to skin problems, hemoscrosarma, and lymphoma. Now, that basically means blindness, any problems with the jaw, a lot of different skin issues. I mean, this dog is very bright, which means it attracts the sun more. Fun fact, the more bright you are, the more you attract, the less you attract the sun. That's why adults hate the color black on cars, because that will turn your car into a little Dutch oven. And as much as you want to be a Hot Pocket when you grow up, or you want to be 99 pounds, eat a pound of Hot Pockets, and then be 1% Hot Pocket, it doesn't feel good. I've been in a burning car. My personal car is black. Well, it's blue, but I had another car that was black, and that car burned. It sucked. Now, the minor concerns are SAS, elbow dysplasia, eye disorders, entropin or CPRA, seizures, hyperthyroidism, mast cell tumors. Oh no, tumors. Although it's a minor concern, tumors are huge in the brain. Now, basically that means your dog isn't going to be thinking very well. There's a lot of health concerns with the golden retriever that I didn't even know. That's really sad to learn. But for this type of dog, it's, you know, you got to keep an eye on these things. They might have medical problems. That little face right there might have a problem, but it's hard to tell. Now, it is occasionally seen with osteocoma, and the suggested tests are the hip, elbow, eye, cardiac, and thyroid. So basically, the head itself, the legs itself. This dog needs a lot of different testing, people. That's going to be kind of expensive, but for the perfect family dog, what are you going to do? This is a true question, because the lifespan of this dog is 10 to 13 years. I think this is one of the lowest of the breeds so far. With the flat-coated retriever having a lifespan of, I believe, 14 years, and the lifespan of the curly-coated retriever, oh, nope, it's 12. Okay, well, this is actually a pretty long dog breed then. I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm the one reading it, so you know it's bad. Now, The form and function of these animals. I don't have a family stone, Z. I don't have any of this. So what can I do? What does this dog do best? The form and function of the Golden Retriever is it's an athletic, strong dog capable of carrying heavy game over land and water. Game meaning ducks, birds, a cow. I don't know why you'd be hunting cow in a swamp. Maybe you are. That's beside the point. For this, it needs a broad, powerful head with a strong neck and well-developed fore and hindquarters. It is slightly longer than a tail, and its gait is smooth, powerful, and ground covering. The water speculant coat is dense, with an outer coat straight or wavy. This dog jumps into water, jumps out the water, drenched. He is a sponge. His coat makes him go, and that means that's a big old sponge. What you do is when your dad is home and you want to do a little prank on him and he's in a good mood, you cover this dog with the hose water, you tell him, sick him, and tell him to go give dad a hug. You'll run in and then boo-doo-doo-doo, and the entire room is wet and you did a funny prank. Now don't actually do this because Stonesy will be blamed. And I believe you can get sued for that. But it's a funny little prank you want to do on your kids. Just saying, parents. Now, although you have to clean up the mess. Now, the final thing we got to go over with the Golden Retriever is At a Glance, the scoreboard that was made by the beautiful people of the Encyclopedia of Dog Breeds, D. Carolyn Coley, Ph.D., which finds that, before I say, 5 stars means, mwah, best, it's the best thing, or, for certain situations, only 3, it's the worst. 4 means it's pretty good, it's better than average. Or it could be worse than average, depending on the situation. 3, it's average. You know, that's like that doggy over there. That's like that doggy over there. It's average. Who cares? Now, 2 means, okay, it's worse than average. We kind of maybe have a problem, but it's nothing to worry about. Or it could be pretty good, depending the situation. 1 is, oh my goodness, this is a problem. We need to think about this real quick. And, this is pretty bad. Now, I'll explain these in more detail later on, but we'll continue. So the energy level and exercise requirements of the Golden Retriever is at a 3. So, you know, it has average energy, average exercise requirements, you know? And this is the first time in book history where a bunch of things are 5. I think this is the most so far. Playfulness, affection level, friendliness towards dogs, friendliness towards other pets, friendliness towards trainers, and ease of training are at a 5, people. This dog, oh my gosh, you want me to tell you about this dog? Super playful, loves you to the very end, loves other dogs, loves other pets, loves your neighbor, loves your brother, loves strangers, and is easy as all get out to train. This doggy is probably why this dog is one of the most famous and one of the most known breeds in America. Now, the watchdog capability is at a 3, which is higher than the average retriever. Usually a watchdog's only at a 1. But this dog's at a 3, so it could actually pack a punch and pack a bite, which is average. Their protection ability, however, is a 2. So they might run over, they might bite, but that bite might not do as much damage as you're thinking. And the cold and heat tolerance, surprisingly, are both at a 3, which surprises me. Oh, and for the final thing, the grooming requirements are at a 3. This is pretty high for a retriever. Usually they're about 2 or 1, but considering it's every other week, or twice a week, it gets there. So basically, on every Friday and every, I would say every Friday and every Wednesday and every Sunday, you should probably go up to your dog, brush. He's gonna be silly, he's gonna be playful, he's gonna take the brush from your hands and run. That's okay. That's a Golden Retriever. That's how they do. They're very playful. Now, the weight of the male dogs are 65 to 75 pounds, with the female dogs being at 55 to 65 pounds healthy. If you see your dog higher or lower than this, consult a doctor. Your pet doctor, nearby veterinarian, or whoever you think. Or you could pick up the dog and be like, I'm gonna guess your weight. And then if you can guess the weight properly, maybe you'll get a stuffed toy or maybe some tickets so you can go over there and buy yourself some Smarties, or maybe if you save up enough dog weighty tickets, you can get yourself an Xbox 360 that's been used by the employees, but they won't tell you that part. Who knows? Now, the height of these dogs, for a good height, if they're any taller or any shorter, maybe get it checked out. It might cause some problems later on. Is for the men, 23 to 24 inches, and for females, 21.5 to 22.5 inches. So exact for the girls. But hey, we love you, ladies. So, that is it for the day. Oh my goodness, the next dog we're having is super popular too. It's the thing you're going to learn in the next episode. So, I hope you guys have a fantastic, wonderful day. Be polite, be efficient, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Learning corner of the day, or Stonesy's learning corner. Today we have little puppies, and then next week, big versions of the puppies. Look how silly they were, and look how silly they are. The Labrador Retriever. Like I said last time, the next breed of dog is also another very famous breed of dog, if you've been watching and following the channel, which you should do. So, we are today going to learn about the silly little puppies called the Labrador Retrievers. Now, before you can make fun of anything, remember, you have to know the history of it. So, the history of the Labrador Retriever is that the original Labradors were all-purpose water dogs originating in Newfoundland, not Labrador. Not only did the breed not originate in Labrador, but also was not originally called the Labrador Retriever. The Newfoundland in the early 1800s came in the different sizes, which was one of the lesser, or St. John's Newfoundland, was the earliest incarnation of the Labrador. These dogs, medium-sized black dogs with closed hair, not only retrieved game, but also retrieved fish, pulled small fishing boats through the icing water, and helped the fishermen with any task involving swimming. Eventually, the breed died out in Newfoundland, with a large part because of the heavy dog tax. However, a core of Labradors have been taken to England in the early 1800s, and it is from these dogs, along these crosses to other retrievers, that the breed continued. It also England that the breed earned its reputation as an extraordinary retriever's upland game. Initially, breeders favored black lives in cold yellow or chocolate colors. By the early 1900s, the other colors had become acceptable. Although it had still not as widely favored as the blacks, the breed was recognized by the English Kennel Club in 1903 and by the AKC in 1917. The popularity of the breed has grown steadily until it became the most popular breed in America in 1991 and remains so today. I forgot to explain that the AKC stands for American Kennel Club, which is strange because the EKC is also the English Kennel Club, so maybe the AKC and the EKC have like different titles because of the confusing thing of most Americans speak English. Whatever. But now you know the sad but kind of happy story of the Labrador Retriever and how they're not from Labrador, although I guess a lot of people think so, according to the book, but are actually from Newfoundland, which I think is also a part of England, but, you know, it's been taken out because of wars and renamed and re-pushed over. But that's besides the point. What is the point is you want this dog. You want a Labrador Retriever. You want this silly little dog to go, wow, 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 and, you know, you want it. Oh, I got my Basset Hound's attention. He's looking at me. He's like, oh, I don't know what you're doing, Dad. Why are you making those noises? Because I'm imitating a Labrador Retriever, babies. And my other dog, Shiloh, who's trying to sleep, just hissed at me. And not hiss like a snake. He just went, you know, he's like a very grumpy grandpa or grandma because it's a girl. I love you, Shiloh. Anyways, you want a kind temperament dog like that. So the temperament of the Labrador Retriever is that the few breeds so richly deserve their popularity is not Labrador Retriever. When trained, it's obedient and amicable, and tolerates the antics of children, other dogs, and other pets. It is a calm house dog, playful yard dog, and intense field dog all on the same day. It is eager to please, enjoys learning, and excels in obedience. It is a powerful breed that loves to swim and retrieve. It needs daily physical and mental challenges to keep it occupied. However, the bored lab can get into trouble. The Labrador's hunting instinct drives it to roam. Breeders say his home is under his hat. Oh, that's so cute. So basically, they're the perfect dog, unless you leave them alone. In which case, they're going to go, and they're going to start breaking everything. And as it says, the home is under their hat, which means their home is wherever the heck their head wants it to be. They're very adventurous little puppies, or little doggies. So now you understand that, but you need more information. Look, my kid wants a Labrador Retriever. I have the Labrador Retriever in this box that's wrapped up like a present, and there's air holes in it, I swear. So, what's the upkeep of these things? Or do I have to return this to Dogs R Us? Well, the temperament of the Labrador Retriever, or the upkeep, of the Labrador Retriever, is that the Labradors are active and sociable dogs. They need daily exercise, preferably in the form of retrieving and swimming. Owners of swimming pools either must fence them out or be prepared to share the pool with the dog. The lab coat sheds water easily. It needs weekly brushing to remove dead hair. Although labs can live outdoors in temperate climates, they are much happier indoors with their family. So they're a people person. I'm sorry. I've been drinking water this entire time. I should be, and you should be too. Remember to stay hydrated. Buy the Stay Hydrated stickers on stonesyboy.com/shop. That's not a real URL, but maybe it will be one day. So, where was I? Oh, yeah. So these dogs are going to need the brushy, which makes sense. They're very fluffy dogs. Even as babies, as you can see, they're very, very fluffy, puffy, funny doggies. So that makes a lot of sense. But, yeah. Now, you get that, and now it's time for the worst part. If you're a child, cover your ears, but if you're an adult, you might want to listen to this part, because this part's the part that really bites you in the wallet. The health of the Labrador Retriever, and the most hated section of this, is their major concerns is CHD, elbow dysplasia, OCD, obesity, patellar luxation. Basically, these dogs are going to get very fat, very lonely, and very scared. That's a major concern. The minor concerns that you can find in some animals are cataracts, CPRA, hotspots, retinal dysplasia, and hydrophoidism. Basically, they could get infections from the water, their eyes can get damaged easy, and their elbows, because of how much they move, can be easily misplaced, if not, given enough exercise. Although that's a minor concern, it could be common. They're occasionally seen with diabetes, entropin, dysarthritis, tricuspid valve dysplasia, muscular dystrophy, and exercise-induced collapse. So basically, give these dogs some water, please. Oh, and watch what they eat. They could get diabetes, and that's not funny or happy, because these dogs are silly. The suggested test for these dogs, I would say every month, is hip, elbow, eye, and knee, because these dogs are outside dogs. They're using their sniffers because they are a retriever breed, and they're going to use their nose to find things, and their lifespan is 10 to 12 years. Not very high, but you know what? For a good companion, what can you do? Now, for their form and function, you're going to want to know. I mean, I don't have a family. I don't have kids. Something along those lines. So what can this dog do for me? Now, the form and function of the Labrador Retriever is it's one of the most moderate dogs, not extreme in any ways, but it's square, slightly longer than tall, of fairly large bone and substance, its broad and head and its strong jaws would be enabled to carry the largest game birds, such as Canada geese. Oh my goodness, those are big birds. Its heavy body, sit, and strong legs enable it to swim and run powerfully. Its coat, which is short, straight, and dense, and a soft undercoat, is weatherproof and helps to protect it from icy waters. The Lab is a working retriever and would possess style without over-refinement and substance without clumsiness. Now, for the final section of the day before we do it Gary's way, bop, is the at-a-glance section. Now, for the at-a-glance section, we have, basically, let me explain it to you. 5 stars means it's the best, or could be the worst, depending the scoring. 4 stars means it's better than average, or it's worse than average. Hard to say. 3 is your average. You're an average dog. Doesn't mean I don't love you. I'm gonna pet your head until your head doesn't have hair anymore, but you're still average. 2 is, this could be bad, or it could be good, but it's lower than average. You gotta look at it and be like, oh my goodness, it's lower than average, but it's okay. I still love you. And 1 is either, oh no, this is the worst, or this is the best thing ever, depending the breed of dog. Now, I'll explain it later as I explain these things. For the dog's energy level, you are at a 4 stars. That is good. These dogs are very energetic, unless you're one of those calm, lazy types who like to read books and make audiobooks for a living. What are you, a weirdo? That is bad, unless you have my type of dog, which is a basset hound. But yeah. Their exercise requirements is at a 3. It's average, but still something to keep an eye on. They want exercise, they need exercise. Their playfulness and affection level are at a 5. So, they're very playful. They want to bite you, they want to pull on you, but they love you. So, they're not going to. They're going to be like, I want to bite you, I want to play with you, but I love you, so I'm not going to. Their friendliness towards other dogs or towards dogs are at a 4. So, they might not be, there may be man's best friend, shown by the friendliness towards other pets and strangers at a 5. But they're probably not going to be friends towards your other dog. Or, they're going to be good friends, but not the best. They're not going to be married by the end of the day. Their ease of training is at a 5. These dogs are very easy to train. Their watchdog ability is at a 4, which is pretty good, They can watch out and be like, I think I see someone over there. Their protection is at a 2, with their grooming requirements also being at a 2, which is, for protection is pretty bad, but for grooming requirements is pretty good. So they might be able to watch out and bite someone, but they'll only do that if you brush their hair weekly. Now, their cold tolerance is at a 4, so they can withstand the cold, and their heat tolerance is at a 3, which is average. Basically, always remember to give this dog water, and that should be fine. Wow, that is a long name for the next breed of dog, which is Learning Corner of the Day, or Stonesy's Learning Corner. Today we are learning about one of the longest titles of a dog, and I'm also going to try to keep the trend of a baby version of the dog and an adult. I hope that's a new thing that you guys like. Today we are learning about the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever. Long name, it's better have a long history. It's a very long, dumb name. Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever. Who has a name like that? But of course, before you can make fun of anything, you have to know about the history, ladies and gentlemen. You should all know this by now. I mean, it's a very nice looking dog. He has a little sword for chest hair. I mean, that's pretty manly. And then that one has a rope. He's manly-er, even though he's a baby. He's a little bubby. He's a little stupid loopy doopy. And he has a little monocle eye and a little white thing on his nose. He's great. But he's also a little dumb. And he has little shoes on. Look at that, little shoes. Little paws that are shoes. But of course, we need another history before I can say more. The history of the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever is pretty long. Europeans has used dogs to toll, Middle English meaning to lure or decoy, ducks into nets since the 17th century. Tolling is done by dogs frolicking along the shore, chasing sticks and occasionally disappearing from sight, an activity that draws curious ducks into the area. The tolling dog must continue its animated fashion, tail wagging, retrieve after retrieve, ignoring the ducks. With its advent of guns, the ducks were in shot and the dogs went to retrieve them. Such decoy dogs may have come to the European settlers in the New World, where they were used to toll in Chesapeake Bay at the marine times. The Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever was developed in the Yarmouth County, at the southern tip of Nova Scotia. In the early 19th century, it perhaps later crossed with Spaniel, Setter, and Retriever-type dogs, as well as farm collies. And an alternative theory is that they're derived in part from the tolling American Indian dogs, originally known as the Little River Duck Dog, or the Yarmouth Toller. The breed later became known as the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever. It was recognized by the Canadian Kennel Club, or the KCK, in 1915, and 15 tollers registered that year. The first tollers came to the United States in the 1960s, and it wasn't until 1984 that the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever Club, USA, was formed. The club offered a breed companionship that required basic retrieving and tolling ability in order to qualify, and still offers a series of working certificates to ensure that the breed's instinct remain intact. In 2001, tollers were admitted into the AKC, or the American Kennel Club, miscellaneous class, and were admitted as a regular member of the sporting group in 2003. Since then, they have proven they are more than just trollers and retrievers, but excel in obedience, agility, tracking, and of course, companionship. So wow, these dogs did a little bit of trolling, or I guess tolling, as it was. And they would troll the little duckies, and they'd go, why is he doing that? And then the guys with the gun would go, boom! And then they were like, okay, I go pick up duck now. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. So these dogs did a little bit of trolling. I think the only dog breed that I know of that does do a little bit of trolling. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But now, you want a little bit of a trollster in your home, because apparently he's a good companion. So, what are the temperament of these dogs? What, is it going to attack my kids? Is it easily angry? Well, the temperament of the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever is that as a benefiting of a dog breed that play and retrieve tirelessly, the toller is very energetic and playful. You cannot throw a ball at once for a toller. Everything they do is done with gusto, whether it's hunting, obedience, agility, or just walking around the block with a Glock. They are alert but not hyperactive and just can adjust to many circumstances. They are affectionate and gentle, but young tollers can be overly boisterous at times. They are good with children, other dogs, pets. And pets. Tollers may be instantly wary of strangers, but warm up quickly. They learn fast and are generally willing to please, but bore easily and then can be a bit stubborn. Sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. Now, these silly dogs can be a bit stubborn and very boisterous, but, you gotta keep them entertained, people. So this is not necessarily the family dog. This is more of my name is John Mitchell, and I live in the forest, and I'm out there. I don't know who John Mitchell is. If your name is John Mitchell, comment below, and if you do, you get a free Dog Day Stonesy Boy sticker. I don't know who John Mitchell is, and I don't have Dog Day Stonesy Boy stickers, so that's fine. Maybe I'll make them. Maybe if I get enough love for these, I'll start making dog merch. That sounds funny. Making money off doggies. But yeah, so now you know about them. They're a bit boisterous and stubborn if they're not given enough attention. Yada yada. So what is the upkeep of these dogs? I, as a parent, know that my kid isn't going to do anything for these dogs. So what do I gotta do? What do I, as a parent, or I have to teach my kid about this dog to keep him up at night? Well, the upkeep of the Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever is that the tollers need a lot of exercise, especially involving playing and retrieving. They love water. Tollers are also profit from mental challenges such as obedience and agility. They devoted family companions that treasure their interaction with humans. So even though they are physically able to withstand the right variety of climates, mentally they need to spend some time with their time indoors. They do not cope well with being kennelled outside. Grooming consists of thorough weekly brushing. So every day you wake up and you grab the brush you haven't brushy, then you go and brush them, and then you brush them, and then you can play with them all day. They don't like being outside, so do not kennel your dogs outside. Do not kennel the Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever, or those they're going to do a little trolling on you. So yeah. Now for the worst part, the health. Little kids listening to this, cover your ears, because health is always a scary part that you don't need to learn about yet. For the adults or teenagers, keep your ears peeled. For the health, the major concerns of the Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever are none. Nothing that you need to watch out that can, hurt this doggy in one sitch. So that's good. The minor concerns are CHD or PRA. So, the eyes and such. They're occasionally seen with nothing. So these dogs are relatively healthy. The suggested test, are the hips and eyes. So, you're going to want to keep an eye on those. Or you should keep a hip and an eye on those, Sorry, I sneezed. The form and function of these little doggies. I don't have a family. So, what do these dogs do for me, I think I'm coming down with a cold. I keep doing these audiobooks and opening my mouth, and all these beautiful little germs and parasites go, yum, 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 and I think I'm doing the yum, yum, yum part, but they're just going and being like, oh, I love you, and oh, no, and so yeah. The form and function of the Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever is that because tollers run as much as they swim when hunting, they are smaller and more agile than most other retrievers. Their powerful yet compact build enables them to rush around tirelessly, leaping and retrieving with tail always wagging. The jaws are strong enough to carry a duck because they were bred to work in icy waters. They have water-repelling double coat at medium length. A longer coat is not appropriate for a working dog, although the tail feathering could be long. Adding the emphasis of the wagging tail, the white blaze chest, tall tip, and the feel is characteristic. They may serve and make the dogs gamboling more noticeable or distancing ducks. So basically, as a person who just wants to keep an eye on this dog and wants to know the proper schematics of them, they have good enough hair to not get, very, very wet. But you got to make sure their hair isn't very long, or else that could be bad. Now, For the final part of this is At a Glance, which is a five-tier bar consisting of these 5 tiers. Tier 5 means it's either the best or it could be the worst, depending what we're scoring. 4 means it's better than average, you know. Oh, you're better than the average puppy dog. You know, or it could be worse than the average puppy dog, depending the situation. 3 is average. Oh my goodness, you are average. You are like that doggy over there. You're completely average. You're just like every other dog. 2 could be worse than average, which could be good or bad. It could be low or high on the scomometer. And 1 is you're the worst. You suck. You're not good. Now, for a doggy, that's sad. So you got to still give him a lot of kisses. And because of a dog having 1 in something does not mean it won't have higher attributes than everything else. Because people love dogs. I love dogs. So just because something has a 1 tier don't make it think it's bad. Now, for the At a Glance. The energy level, exercise requirements, playfulness, affection level, friendliness towards dogs, and friendliness towards other pets is a 5. Now, this dog is big muscle, big playing, energy, loves people, loves other pets, loves other dogs. He's great. He's everyone's best friend, apparently. Except towards strangers. The friendliness towards strangers is a 3. Now, you're average, you know. Oh, well, you're cool if my owner says you're cool. Is he cool? Yeah? Okay, good. Now, the ease of training is a 4. This is fantastic for a dog because it's easier than average to train this dog. You know, roll over, pet, do a flip, do a backflip, good dog, that type of thing. Now, for the watchdog ability, protection ability, and grooming requirements. These are all at a 2, although I would personally put the grooming requirements of this dog at a 3, because you have to brush it every week. And maybe once a week, or maybe many times a week. So I would put that at a 3 personally, but the watchdog ability and protection ability is at a 2. It can't see worth anything, and it can't protect worth anything, but hey, if you live in a good neighborhood, you should be fine. Now, the cold tolerance of this dog is at a 4. This dog could take the cold just fine. I mean, it was literally bred to swim in the water. So, it should be fine. And the heat tolerance of this dog is at a 3. Average. Pretty average. I've never seen a dog have a lower cold or hot tolerance than 3 is 4. So, it works out. The weight of the male breed should be about 45 to 52 pounds. For females, it should be 35 to 42 pounds. For the healthy recommended weight of these dogs at a full age of an adult. The height should be around, for a male, should be around 18 to 21 inches. For a female, 17 to 20 inches for a nice, healthy height of the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever. Learning Corner, or Reading with Stonesy, or Dog of the Day, or Dog Day, or whatever the heck this is called now. Now we are learning about the setters. There are many setters, with there being the English one, that one, of course, and that one, yep. So, today we are learning about the English setter, S-E-T-T-E-R. A common thing you'll find about the setters is they kind of have big bellies. I mean, look at that one. That one has a big old belly. He looks like a sheep. But is that what they're used for? I don't know, but we will find out together. And, of course, I can't make fun of the fact that he has a big old belly, big old fat dog, until we know the history. It's rude to make fun of something unless you know the history of it. So the history of the English setter is that even before the advent of the shotgun, when birds were often caught with a net, dogs were trained to crouch when they pointed game. These setters were forerunners of today's setters. The English setter is the oldest known of this group, perhaps dating back to the 14th century. It was developed to locate game on the moors and then the freeze until the game was dispatched. The English setter's ancestors probably included the Spanish Pointer, Springer Spaniel, and the large water spaniel. The cultivation of the English setter through conserved pure breeding and undertaken by Edward Laverack beginning around the 1825 and continuing over 35 years. These dogs form the basis of all English setters today. Incidentally, the term Belton was coined by Laverack to describe the roan and thicket flecks of color which comes from the town of Belton, where Laverack hunted. The other most influential breeder, Purcell Lillewin, obtained his foundation stock from Laverack, but based on his breeding on field ability alone. Lillewin crosses Laverack's with unrelated English setters to produce much outstanding field dogs that were imported to America. The Laverack and Lillewin setters diverge, and the Laverack providing the foundation of the show setters and the little one forming the foundation for the field setters. Most types have enjoyed steady popularity in America, although no date has been specified apparently. Now, you know how these little doggies, I'm sorry, not little, big doggies got their history and how they came to be. But now, you want to know how they act. What's their temperament? What do they do, Stonesy? Well, the temperament of the English setter is that the bred could cover a lot of area when hunting. The English setter is a lively dog that loves to hunt and run. This is especially true of the dog from field lines. If not given sufficient exercise, they can be tracked overly lively inside. Without daily exertion, they're calm and rarely laid back. Or tractable house dogs. I'm sorry, I'm losing my lines. Those from conformation lines are particularly laid back and general, excel with children and less active adults. This is amiable, easygoing breed that gets along well with children, strangers, and other dogs. So this is a very kind and very big doggy. So, it's pretty good. It's pretty good for what it is. Now, for the upkeep, because my kid wants one of these big old turkey dogs. So I, as a parent, need to know what the heck is the upkeep of these things. So the upkeep of the English setter is that the English setter needs a lot of exercise every day, requiring at least an hour of hard exertion. It is best that we can live inside and play outside. The long coat needs regular brushing every 2 to 3 days. The white coat may be difficult to keep gleaming in some areas. Some clipping and trimming every month or 2 is advisable for optimal good looks. So yeah, you're going to need to trimmy up this dog and make them look like your perfect little Ken dog every 2 to 3 days. I would say every other day, every 2 days, but that's just me. Now, if you're a child, please cover your ears because this is the worst part about owning a dog. If you're an adult or a teenager, please keep your ears keen and peeled. I don't know why you would peel an ear. Ugh, that sounds disgusting. Go eat a banana instead. So, now we have to get onto the health section. So, the health of the English setter's major concerns is deafness, CHD, elbow dysplasia, and hydrothyroidism. Basically, blindness, the fear of stuff, can't hear really well, that type of stuff. Their minor concerns are PRA and OCD, so they might get a little scratchy and they might occasionally be like, oh, what? Or they could sometimes have it, but, it's only that. It's occasionally seen with epilepsy, which is never good, so keep them away from flashing lights. The suggested test that you should take this dog every other month, or maybe even every month, depending on what type of parent you are, is hearing, hip, elbow, eye, and thyroid testing. And their lifespan is 10 to 12 years, which is pretty good for a dog. Now, I look, Stonesy, you told me about having my kid cover his ears for the health section. So, what's the problem? I don't have any kids, so what's the form and function of these dogs? What do these dogs do that makes me, as a single parent, want to own them? I mean, I'm a hunter too, so what do they do? The form and function of the English setter is that it's an elegant and athletic hunting dog with the ability to run tirelessly at a good pace. Its trot is ground covering and effortless. With the head held proudly and the lively tail, the coat is flat, and the feathers on an ear, underside, back and legs, underside the thighs, and tail. It's marked and indistinctive and consisting of flecks of color, sometimes with patches, on the white background. The combination of good looks and hunting ability make the English setter the most perfect gentleman's hunting companion. The Labradors tend to be larger, carry more feathering, often the deeper muzzle, and usually hold their tails nearly level on the point. The Lowlands tend to be smaller, faster, and with less coat, and often larger patches of color. They tend to hold their tail straight up when on point. So the final thing for this episode is the at a glance section. Let me explain this again. Let me explain this to you how this section works. It goes from 1 to 5 stars. So 5 means it's the best or the worst depending the situation. 4 means it is better than average, or it could be worse. 3 is average, it's cool, whatever. It's like that dog over there. 2 is below. Oh no, oh gosh, it's not gonna care. And 1, oh gosh, oh no, it's 1, the worst that it can be. Unless it could be the best depending the situation. So, with that fun little rhyme out of the way, the energy level and exercise requirements for these dogs is at a 4. So you're going to need to go give them a lot of exercise, but they're also going to have the energy to do it. Their playfulness is at a 3, so they're pretty playful for a dog. They're not going to hide away. Their affection level is at a 4, so they'll love you more than the average dog, which is good, considering they're big old turkey dogs like this. The friendliness towards other dogs, or towards dogs, is at a 3, so, as long as they're not getting in fights, they'll be fine. The 4 there's friendliness towards other pets, so other pets they'll be good with. So this dog could be trusted with a hamster. Friendliness towards strangers is a 5, which is a little bit worrying, but if they know that you're cool with them, they'll know they're cool. Their ease of training is out of 3, so it's about average for training. 2, they have a 4 in watchdog ability, so these dogs can point out or see anything and tell you. Their protection ability is out of 2, however, which is not the best, but better than 1. The grooming requirements, cold tolerance and heat tolerance, are out of 3. This is the first time they got the grooming requirements is higher than a 2, and yeah, that makes sense considering you have to groom them every other day for a healthy coat. Speaking of healthy, the weight of the average male is 60 to 65 pounds, with the female being 50 to 55 pounds. Field types could be about 10 pounds less, meaning dogs out in the field who are duck hunters and stuff like that. The height of the English setter for the male should be about 25 inches, and for a female about 24. There's no specific thing. Inquiries about if they're a field type or not. So with that is the end of the English setter. Do you own an English setter? I don't know if you do or don't. Well, it doesn't really matter, because the next type of setter is the Gordon Setter. This is like the other doggy, except this one looks like a Rottweiler mix. Maybe he is. He's just a big old fat Rottweiler. Or I guess he's skinny considering the thing, but he's silly looking. But of course, you can't make fun of something without knowing its history. So, as such, we're going to read the history of the Gordon Setter. The Gordon Setter's history is that it's a black and tan setters existed in Scotland at least by the 1600s, but it was not until the late 1700s that the breed became established as the Gordon the Castle Setter. The 4th Duke of Gordon kept many of these dogs at the Gordon Castle, thus lending to the breed its name. Efforts to breed the finest setters at Gordon Castle continued through the efforts of the Duke of Richmond after the 4th Duke's death. The 4th Duke's death. Although the breed's name had changed back to the black and tan setter around 1900, the name Gordon Setter was restored when the English Kennel Club registered the breed. Gordon Setters were the heaviest and slowest working of their setter breeds, and the distinction was accentuated when Gordons first entered the show ring in 1875. The trend toward an overly ponderous show Gordon was halted largely through the efforts of man, Robert Chapman. Unlike many sporting breeds, a little division between show and field type Gordons exists. Gordon Setters had arrived in America in the middle 1800s, were among the first breeds recognized by the AKC, receiving the nod of 1892. The breed and the favorite among the hunters, demanding one-man shooting dog, though it generally lacks the flash and speed of the other setter breeds. Although its steady following, it has never been popular as other pets, as their setters as a pet. So now that you know the history, your kids are like, well, if I get this dog now, then I'll be looking cool because I know the history, Dad, so I want it. But now you're like, hold on, son. Before I talk about this, we need to know the temperament. How do these dogs act? What, will they get easily angry? Are they good around kids? Well, the temperament of the Gordon Setter is that the Gordon Setter is capable, closely working bird dog, and it can run and hunt all day. This kind of energy needs a regular outlet for the dog and is apt to become frustrated. Gordons take lively, enthusiastic companions and need the company of lively people. Somewhat more protected than the other setters, it is reserved towards strangers and sometimes aggressive towards strange dogs. The Gordon has earned its reputation as a devoted family dog. And the Gordon has earned its reputation as a devoted family dog. That's a really short temperament. But yeah, it's good with other dogs, not good with other people. So, keep an eye on that. Now, for some reason in your weird mind, you want this dog still. So yeah, I want to know the upkeep. What do I have to do to keep this dog beautiful and healthy as he is? Well, the upkeep of the Gordon Setter is that the Gordon needs much strenuous exercise every day in order to stay in shape. It can live outdoors in temperate climates, but it must be able to spend ample time with people and does best dividing its time between inside and outside. Its coat needs regular brushing and combing every 2 to 3 days. In addition, some clipping and trimming is needed for optimal good looks. You want this dog to be good looking? You gotta work for it, baby. And you also have to groom and trim. This dog is your average Ken dog, except it loves the family. Unlike Ken, I guess. I never watched the Barbie movie. So, yeah, that's what you gotta know about that. So, any children listening to this, or any teachers showing the kids this, have cover their ears or something. This is only for adults and teenagers only. The health of the Gordon Setter is always the worst part for me. Their major concerns are CHD and gastric torsion. Basically, they have somewhat weak stomachs. The minor concerns are PRA, elbow dysplasia, cerebellar atrophy, and hydrothyroidism. Basically, just keep an eye on their ligaments, such as their arms, legs, neck, because they have that. They could sometimes have weak or somewhat broken that. They're occasionally seen with no type of diseases, which is always good. Their suggested tests that you should have once a month or every other month is on the hips, elbows, eyes, and thyroids. Their lifespan is 10 to 12 years, which is always a sad thing to learn about dogs, is they're not always gonna be with you. It's something that we learned today on the island of the Blue Dolphins when it came to run too. Very sad. For the final part of the second to final part of today, you're gonna want to know the form and function, because let's face it, you don't have kids, you don't want to have kids, so yeah, why would you have kids? I want to know the form and function of these dogs, what they look like, what they do, that type of thing. So for the form and functions of the Gordon Setter is that they're the heaviest of setters, and the Gordon is certainly built in plenty of substance and bone. The suggestion would be one of strength and stamina rather than speed. It's square proportioned, upstanding, and stylish. Its gait is bold, smooth, and effortless, with head carried proudly and tail constantly flagging. The Gordon Setter carries a thicker coat than the other setters. The hair is straight or slightly wavy, always soft and shiny. Longer feathering is on its ears, underside, back its legs, and tail. The whole impression would be of a rugged dog capable of withstanding a long, active day in the field in a variety of conditions. So this dog is big, exercise, big, strong dog. And you're always going to want to keep this dog active. Always, always, always. So before we call it a day today, it's time for the At a Glance 5-star review. So 5 stars means it is the best, no questions asked, or it is one of the better ones. 4 means it's better than average. 3 means it's might as well be average. 2 means it's under average, and 1 means it's below average, or really, really below average. All these scores could be good. All these scores could be bad, depending on which one it is. So, without further ado, let's get to the proper rankings. The energy level, exercise requirements, and affection level of the Gordon Setter is at a 4. So this dog has a good amount of energy, a good amount of love to give, and a good amount of exercise requirements. Like I said, it's sometimes good, sometimes bad. So this dog is going to need some ample exercise. The playfulness of this dog is at a 3. So, it's as playful as any other dog. Be nice to it, it'll be nice to you. The friendliness towards other dogs is at a 2. So, watch for that. The friendliness towards other pets, however, is at a 4, which kind of doesn't make sense, but at the same time kind of does, because they might not be friends to other dogs, because they could be aggressive, but they might be friends with a cat, because, they're always aggressive, so they're not going to know the difference. The friendliness towards strangers is at a 2, which could be good and could be bad, depending on what stranger it is. Could be a family member, could not be. Their watchdog ability is at a 4, so they can find out who it is. I think all setters have a watchdog ability of 4, although I could be mistaken. No, it doesn't seem that I am. Now, the ease of training, protection ability, grooming requirements, cold tolerance, and heat tolerance are all at a 3. It is average. Heat and cold tolerance are average. You're not going to have to look out for them, because they can easily get through the heat and the cold just fine. The protection ability is one of the highest of the setters so far, so that's always good. And they're decently easy to train. They're average. They're an average ease of training, which is always very, very good. But, yeah. Besides from that, the next dog we're going to be reading about is... Today, we are learning about the Irish Setter. The Irish Setter. It's like the other setters. It's the last setter that we will be learning about in this section of the story. And, well, it's skinnier than the most. It's a skinny dog, and it looks a lot like that one girl celebrity dog from Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2. Now, of course, I shouldn't be making fun or mimic anything, because you can't make fun or mimic something without knowing the history of it. So, the history of the Irish Setter is that the precise origins of the Irish Setters are obscure, but most reasonable theories consider that it resulted from a blend of Spaniels, Pointers, and other setters. Mostly the English, but, to a lesser extent, the Gordon Irish hunters needed fast-working, keen-nosed dogs, large enough to be seen from the distance. They found their dog in the red and white setters produced from these crosses. The first kennels of solid red setters appeared around 1800. Only a few years these dogs had gained the reputation of the rich mahogany color. By the mid-1800s, Irish red setters, as they were originally known, had come to America, proving themselves as effective in American game birds as Irish ones. Needed fast-working, keen-nosed dogs, large enough to be seen from a distance. They found their dog in the red and white setters produced from these crosses. The first kennels of the solid red setters appeared around 1800. Only a few years these dogs had gained the reputation of the rich mahogany color. By the mid-1800s, the Irish red setters, as they were originally known, had come to America, proving themselves as effective on American game birds as Irish ones. Back in Ireland around 1862, the dog was forever changed the breed. Champion Palmerston was born, which had an unusually long head and slender build. He was considered to be too refined for the field, so his owner ordered him drowned. Another fancier interceded, and the dog became a sensation as a show dog, going on to sire an incredible number of offspring. Virtually every modern Irish setter can be tracked in the Palmerston. Interest changed from the field trials into dog shows. An emphasis changed from hunting daily to glamour. Despite this, the Irish setter became a capable hunter, and decided breeders took steps to retain the breed's dual abilities. The breed increased principally in the popularity of the show dog. However, later as a pet, it eventually rose to a place among the most popular breeds in America in the 1970s, but since plummeted in the rankings. How interesting. A dog that was original, that has no past, was a hunter, and became glamorous. Glamorous. Yeah. Glamorous. Now, do you want one of these glamorous, oh so glamorous, yeah, dogs for yourself? Well, then you gotta know the temperament of them before you know it. Are they gonna bite my kid? Are they gonna show off all the money that they own and all the cool and expensive cars they have? Well, the temperament of the Irish setter is that the Irish setter was bred to be the tireless and enthusiastic hunter and approaches everything in life with rollicking, good-natured attitude. Full of gusto and fervor, given the daily outlet for its energy, it makes it a pleasant companion. Without ample exercise, can be overly active inside and become frustrated. It's an amiable breed, rather eager to please when to be part of his family's activities. It is good with children, but can be too rambunctious for small children. It is less popular as a hunter than the other setters. So, it's a calmer breed, but still is a hunter at the end of the day. So, they're not going to show off their money, they're just going to relax and show off their energy more than anything. Now, for the upkeep of these dogs. What do I have to do to keep this dog the beautiful and fine dog that it is? Well, the upkeep of the Irish setter is that the Irish needs exercise, and lots of it. It is not fair to take the dog selected for boundless energy and expect it to sit inside. A minimum of 1 hour of hard, strenuous games and exertion a day is recommended. Because of its energy, it's not suited as an apartment dog. It can live outside in temperate or warm weather, but it needs warm shelter and needs to come inside in colder weather. It is a sociable dog that it does not best living with his family. The coat needs regular brushing and combing every 2 to 3 days, plus some clipping and trimming to look its best. Now, this dog is more work than it is action, so you might need to keep an eye out for that. Now, for any children in the room or any students or whatever, please cover your ears now, as we are getting to the health section. Any adults or teenagers, start writing notes because this stuff is important. For the health of the Irish setter, the major concerns you have to look for are the PRA, CHD, and the gastric torsion, stomach problems, eyes problems, leg problems. Minor concerns are the megaesophagus, panisotasis, HOD, osteochroma, and hyperthyroidism. So, again, keep an eye on the thigh. It's a minor concern, but still a concern all the same. It's occasionally seen with OCD, epilepsy, hemophilia A. I don't know what hemophilia A is, but OCD and epilepsy are pretty common place for Irish setters, or at least epilepsy is. Suggested tests are the eye, DNA, or PRA, hip, cardiac, and thyroid, so they could get some type of blood disease, so keep an eye on that. Their lifespan is 12 to 14 years, and there's even a special note. This is actually new. The note states, with the advent of DNA testing for PRA, this problem should no longer be a concern if both parents have been tested. So, if you are breeding these dogs and both animals have been tested, there will not be any upgrades or any modification of the DNA. As long as both parents are fine breeded and they've both been tested, this dog will be tested the same exact way too. There's not going to be any evolutions of this said DNA disease. Finally, before we get to the last part of this episode, is the form and function of the Irish setter. Now, among the most breathtaking of dogs, the Irish setter's beauty is part of the result of necessity. Its elegant yet substantial build enables it to hunt with speed and stamina. Its build is slightly longer than tail, giving ample room for movement without interference between fore and hind legs. The trot of ground covering and efficient. The coat is flat, straight, and more moderate length, with longer feathering on ears, back of legs, belly, chest, tail, and providing protection from briars without becoming entangled in them. The rich mahogany color is just beautiful. As beautiful as a dog is, there's always certain problems with him, which is always sad, but now we'll have to put that to the test because we are at the final section of today's reading, the at a glance section. Now, for a quick speed run of this, 5 means it's the best of the best. 4 means it's better than average. 3 means it's average. 2 means it's below average. And 1 means it is worse than average. Now, for this quick reading, the energy level, exercise requirements, playfulness, and affection level are at a 5. These are all great except for the exercise requirements, which you're going to need to do a lot. Like I said, an hour straight of strenuous work, running, and doing all those things. No breaks. It's a lot of work on a dog parent, so watch out for that. Friendliness towards dogs and friendliness towards other pets is at a 4. So, yeah, you need to keep an eye out on that. Because they are very nice to other pets and dogs. So, that could be good when it comes to, just dogs in general, but it could be bad when it comes to a chinchilla or a snake. So watch out for that. Friendliness towards strangers is at a 5 as well. So it could be best friends with your brother, or it could be best friends with a robber, which is bad, but it can also be good, depending on how the ease of training is. The ease of training is a 3, so normal. So, give them love, they'll trust you. The watchdog ability is at a 4 with a protection ability at 1, which means they can find things really well, but they can't protect anything. There are no teeth in that glamorous dog. It will pay its servants to fight. It doesn't fight itself. Now, the grooming requirements, cold tolerance, and heat tolerance are all at a 3, although I would say the cold tolerance should be at a 2 because, as it said before, these dogs need a warm environment to live in. Finally, the weight of a male should be about 70 pounds, and for a female, about 60 pounds for a good, healthy dog. And the height of a male should be 27 inches, for a female, about 25, which is normal in the animal kingdom. So, with that, that is the end of the setters for right now. The end of the book, the end of the setters. Why does everything have to end so soon? Well, my friends, every end has a beautiful beginning. So, until that beginning comes, I hope you guys have a super fantastic, wonderful day. Be polite, be efficient, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye! Today, we are learning about the American Water Spaniel. Look at him! He's on a little couch. Look how small he is. Think about the size of a couch cushion. His little paw is the size of the crevice of the couch cushion. That's a leather couch cushion, probably designed in the 90s. So those were not really built to last. So that there's actually not a lot of space in between those cushions. A lot of dirt and a lot of hair from that dog right there builds up in it. And his little paw just fits there. Just fits there. So, yeah. You know how small the doggy is, and look how big the dog is. It's actually not that big of a dog, really. How tall is he? The average on height of... Oh, wow. They are small dogs. Oh, my goodness. You'll learn about that by the end. But before I make fun of the small stature of this dog, we need to know the history. As you should know, before you make fun of anything or try to give an opinion on it, you have to know the history. So, the history of the American Water Spaniel. Spaniel, Spada-Baboo. Spaniel is a really cool name. So, the history of the American Water Spaniel, opposed to any other Water Spaniel, is that it's exactly when and where or from the American Water Spaniel was developed was never recorded. Its appearance strongly suggests a smaller version of the Irish Water Spaniel, and is likely is derived from the breed or its earlier versions, the Northern, Southern, and Tweed Water Spaniels. The Curley-coated Retriever and its forebear, the English Water Spaniel, may have also played a role. Some theories of the credit American Indians who lived in Great Lakes regions and creators of the breed. Whatever its origin, the Water Spaniel first became established and recognizable breed by the Midwestern parts of the United States, where it was unsurpassed as a hunting companion. This small dog has waterproof coat and keen nose could hunt through rough thickets. Spring came and retrieved all the manner of game and from land and water, often marking several fallen birds before retrieving them unfailingly, until it was recognized by the AKC, or the American Kennel Company, in 1940. No one ever considered breeding these dogs for anything but hunting ability. Even after recognition, the breed's forte remained in the field, and its rarity in the show ring or even at home. Today, the American Water Spaniel is among the least known of AKC, American Kennel Company, recognized breeds, despite being one of the 2 sporting breeds developed in America. In fact, the American Water Spaniel is the state dog of Wisconsin. Wow. So the state of Wisconsin's sport dog, aka the American Water Spaniel, is not a very known breed. I thought this was another breed of dog, but I guess I was incorrect. As it says, it was a mix of curly-coated retrievers, which is the exact breed I was thinking of. So, yeah, that's really cool to know. Now you want to own one of these pipe-sized pups. So, what's the temperament of these silly little dogs? Well, the temperament of the American Water Spaniel, did I spell that right? Spaniel? Oh my goodness, I didn't spell that right. Well, that's a little treat for y'all. I didn't spell spaniel right. It's spelled I-E-L, not I-A-L. But just for you guys, I need that explained. I spelled that wrong, but for this episode, you guys get that little treat called a spelling error. If you go down to the comments and give me proof that you guys have actually caught that before, I'll give you an emoji. I don't know what emoji yet, but I'll give you one of those. So, the temperament of the American Water Spaniel, as I spelled it, or Spaniel, as it's properly spelled, is that its name implies the American Water Spaniel is natural lover of water. Not only is it a skilled retriever and versatile hunter, but it also is a tractable, fun-loving family dog. As long as it gets regular physical and mental exercise, it is sensitive and willing to please. Some can be timid, generally good with other dogs in the household. Some are aggressive towards strange dogs. Barking can be a definite problem. Some also whine or drool. Oh, these doggies drool. They're silly. They're very silly dogs. But they drool, they whine, they make noises, and they're funny and fuzzy. Now, what are the temperament? What do I have to do for this dog, Stonesy? Tell me this. Tell me this now. No, I'm sorry, the upkeep. What is the upkeep for this dog? Not the temperament. We just read the temperament, you fool. So, the upkeep of the American Water Spaniel is that, like all hunting dogs, the American Water Spaniel needs daily exercise. Although these requirements can be met with a long walk, it does best dividing its time between indoors and outdoors. Its coat is oily and needs weekly brushing. Hair may be clipped from the feet to top knot. Ears should be checked regularly. Ooh, so speaking of being checked regularly, if you are a child, please cover your ears, for this is the worst part of owning a dog. And if you are an adult or a teenager, please keep your ears wide open, for we shall now be talking about the health of the American Water Spaniel. Now, for the major concerns that you need to look out for this dog is the mitral valve disease. I don't know what that is exactly, but if it's mitral valve disease and it's a valve, the only places that can be located with a valve on an animal, I believe, is the throat or the appendix. So, keep an eye on their breathing habits, see if that's a problem. Their minor concerns are PDA, pulmonic stenosis, and CHD. I believe that just means, like I said before, throat, hip, thigh, whatever. And they're occasionally seen with patellar luxation and PRA. Again, same places. And suggested test is cardiac, hip, and eye. So yeah, keep an eye on all those. I'd also just say get the dog checked out fully. And their lifespan is 10 to 12 years. Now, if you are an adult or a teenager and you have a kid listening to this, please grab them by the hands and, rip them off and, maybe even shake their head a little bit because they need to keep themselves entertained. So, now we have to go to the second and final thing before the countdown. The form and function. For the form and function of the American Water Spaniel packs a lot of ability into the comparatively small dog. Its muzzle is long and strong enough to carry a large goose, and its strong quarters to propel it through water and over land. It's slightly longer than tall, solidly built and muscular. The coat can range from uniform waves, marcel, to close curls, with a dense undercoat. This combination provides protection against weather, water, and briars. The ears are well covered with hair, which should not grow their ear canal. The gait is balanced in reach and drive. Now, for the final part, we have the tier list. So basically, let me explain this to you as quickly as I can, as I've done 100 times. 5 is the best or could be the worst. 4 could be better or it could be worse. 3 is average, like the other dogs. 2 is low, oh no, oh god. 1 is the worst, the bad it can be. Depending on the tier list, what can it be? Okay, so now, the energy level of the American Water Spaniel is a 4, so it's above average. It's pretty good, it can run around. The exercise requirements is a 3, just take it on a nice long walk across the beach. It'll do fine. The playfulness of the dog is 4, above average for any other dog. So he goes, you know, it's good. The affection level and friendliness towards other pets is a 3, so this dog can be trusted if trained properly, to, you know, be around other pets like cats and stuff. Friendliness towards dogs, however, is a 2. I guess they're quite defensive depending their coats and the size of themselves. Friendliness towards strangers is also at a 2, so, you know, again, with size and such, they could be, bad. Their ease of training is at a 3, so average. As long as you don't do anything to scare this dog, you should be fine. Their watchdog ability is at a 4, with their protection ability being at a 3. So they'll be able to see and protect you pretty well, considering these guys have the strength to carry a goose. Their grooming requirements, cold tolerance, and heat tolerance are at a 3, which is pretty high for groom tolerance, or for like how much you need to groom them. So like once or twice a week. Their weight is, for a male, for a healthy good weight for this dog, is 30 to 45 pounds. And for a female, is 25 to 40 pounds. That's the healthy weight of these guys. And finally, for the height, the thing you've been waiting for since the beginning of this reading corner of the day is 15 to 18 inches. Now, I want you to look around your room right now and think, what is 15 to 18 inches in your house? I mean, really, it'd be hard to find. I think all spaniels are decently short, or maybe it's just this one. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at the spaniel we'll be reading about in the next episode, and it is the Clumber Spaniel. Spaniel being spelled properly this time. Is Clumber spelled properly? Clumber. Clumber. Yep, it's spelled properly. It just doesn't have the proper capitalization. Look at that dog. He's so silly. He's a big old hound dog. But then again, he's apparently a spaniel. I'd personally call him a sheep. But of course, before we can ever make fun of something, we need to know its history. So, the history of the Clumber Spaniel is that it's the stockiest of the spaniels. The Clumber is also one of the oldest, dating to the late 1700s, although the exact derivation of the breed is unknown. It is likely that the old heavy-headed Alpine Spaniel and the low-bodied Basset Hound played prominent roles in its development. The breed did not get the name all around the time of the French Revolution, when it was believed that the Duc de Noailles of France moved the spaniel kennels to the Duke of Newcastle's English estate, Clumber Park. Clumber, slow-moving but a spaniels, appealed to the English nobility, who appreciated the spaniel's slow-moving but essentially keen-nosed hunter. It was also an adept retriever. The breed was not readily available for commoners because of the nobility discouraged its popularity except among higher society. As befitting of the high status, Clumbers were among the earliest breeds to be shown. They came to America in the late 1800s. Their popularity has remained strongest in the field. Although Clumbers have attained high show honors, they remain greatly unknown to the public despite their many attributes. So I believe this dog is mistaken for other dogs, because I'm mentally been telling myself, oh yeah, I've seen this breed of dog. But considering the book itself has said, and quote, this dog has been mistaken for other animals, I could be actually incorrect. So now you want one of these unknown dogs, but you need to know the temperament. So the temperament of the Clumber Spaniel is that it's among the most low-keyed and easygoing of the sporting breeds. The Clumber Spaniel is nonetheless a hunter of heart, ever ready for the day of the field. At home, it tends to be quiet and may even need to be goaded into exercise. It is one of the few sporting breeds suitable for city life. Although it will relish walks and outgoings, the Clumber makes a good pet, especially devoted to one person. So it's a good dog. He's a very good dog. But, of course, I could just be lying. So what's the upkeep, Stonesy? You always read about the upkeep. Well, the upkeep's very short on this dog because the upkeep of the Clumber Spaniel, as you can see, very fluffy, is that the Clumber enjoys the daily outing. But its exercise requires to be met with a long walk on a leash or a leisurely hike in the field. The coat needs brushing 2 to 3 times weekly, Although in dirty areas it may need more frequent bathing in order to keep its coat a gleaming white, Clumbers tend to drool and at times snore. Oh, this doggy snores. He's a loud doggy. Loud doggy with a lot of hair. But now it's time for any children to be listening to cover your ears. Any teenagers or adults, keep those ears open. This is important. AKA the worst time I have in this book. So for the health of the Clumber Spaniel, the major concerns is invertebral disc disease. Now, basically, that means their legs and hips are very gentle. It's a major concern because that means they can't run or walk and it's hard for them to do anything else. They're mostly fur, so when they're dragging their feet all the time, if they were to, that means their hair would get dirty and they get a lot of diseases. The minor concerns you were looking at is entropin, ectropin, entropin, odious externa. So I believe that has to do with otitious is eye. So eye problems, entropin and entropine, which are two different words, are more like parts of the arms or arms of the dog, the legs. Your suggested test are the hip, eye, and elbow, and they're occasionally seen having seizures, which is not okay for the doggy, of course. So keep an eye on that. And their lifespan is 10 to 12 years, which is pretty average for a spaniel. Finally, before we get to the tier list, we have the form and function. Now, I don't have a family, Stonesy, so what can these dogs do? What do they look like? What do I have to look out for? What makes my dog perfect and healthy in its own way? Well, the form and function of the Clumber Spaniel is that the Clumber Spaniel is long, low dog, rectangular shape with a massive bone. This, built in combination with a deep chest, heavy brow, and a powerful hindquarters, enables a dog to move through thick underbrush when hunting. The coat is straight, flat, soft, and dense, imparting resistance to weather. The white color helps the hunter locate the dog. The Clumber tends to hunt close and it moves easily, tending to roll slightly because of its wide body and short legs. The expression is soft. So this doggy could trip on itself and fall and roll. That's really cute, but also really sad. So finally, we're at the at a glance. 5 means it's the best or could be the worst, depending on the situation. 4 means it's above average, or you know how it is. 3 means it's average, you know, it's like the rest. 2 means it's below average, and 1 means it is the worst, or it can be the worst, or it could be the best, depending. For example, the energy level and exercise requirements are at a 2. So for energy level being at a 2, that's below average. That's not really good. But their exercise requirements is a 2, which is good because they don't need a lot of exercise. Their playfulness is at a 3, so average is as average as any other dog. The affection level is at a 4, so they're more affectionate than others. Their friendliness towards other pets is also a 4. The friendliness towards dogs, friendliness towards strangers, and ease of training are at a 3. So, you know, it's going to be good friends with other dogs, could be good friends with other strangers, and it's average easy as training. Now, the watchdog ability, aka how far they can see and tell you, it's out of 2. Not the best, but could be worse. Speaking of worse, their protection ability is out of 1, so these dogs aren't going to be very good for protecting. I think these are more for if you live in a safe area and you want a dog. Grooming requirements and cold tolerance at a 3, which is normal, and their heat tolerance is at a 2, which is strange. I think this is the first dog we've had that actually has a lower tolerance, which makes sense. He's mostly fur. Oh my goodness, look how fabulous you are. I have a close look at the next spaniel we're going to be reading about. But before I get to that, the final 2 things. The weight that you'd want your Clumber Spaniel to be at a healthy weight is 70 to 85 pounds, and for a female, 55 to 70 pounds. The height for a male should be 90 to 20 inches, and a female, 17 to 19 inches. Now back to that spaniel. The next spaniel that we'll be looking at is very beautiful, very fantastic, and it is the Cocker Spaniel. A very pretty dog, a very beautiful dog, a very basset houndy fluffy dog. It's a basset hound but fluffy, and very, very fat. Very, very fat. Look at that dog. Even as a baby, he's a little fat. But of course, you can't make fun of something or really support anything without knowing their history. So, today, for the history of the Cocker Spaniel, is that the American version of the Cocker Spaniel is derived from the English Cocker Spaniel. In the late 1800s, many English Cockers were brought into America, but American hunters preferred a slightly smaller dog to hunt quail and other small game birds. Just how small a Cocker was developed is not entirely clear. Some credit the dog, OBO II, born around 1880, was the first true American Cocker, but other evidence points across the English Cocker with even smaller toy spaniels that nonetheless arose from the same ancestral stock. Initially, the English and American Cocker Spaniels were considered varieties of the same breed, and they were officially separated from the AKC, American Kennel Company, in 1935. Although Cockers were already popular, and the separation of the American Cocker surge in the popularity has remained one of the most popular breeds of all time in America. In fact, it was the most popular breed for many years. So popular, it was eventually divided into 3 color varieties: black, particolor, and ASCOB, or ASCOB, which stands for any solid color other than black. Only recently has it been popularly spread to England, where it recognized by the English Kennel Club in 1968, and has gained admirers steadily since. So now that you know the strange, unknown story of the Cocker Spaniel, which was really just an expanded description on the English Cocker Spaniel, now you're wondering, what's the temperament? What if I want my kids to have it? Is it a good kid dog? Will it protect my kids? Well, the temperament of the Cocker Spaniel is that the breed is known as a merry cocker, and the name is most fitting. It's playful, cheerful, and amiable, sweet, sensitive, and willing to please, and responsive to its family's wishes. It is not known for retaining its human hunting instincts, but is inquisitive and will appreciate a country outing. It is especially equally at home in the city, where it will happily walk on a leash for its exercise needs. Some bark a lot, some are overly submissive. So some are very shy and some are very loud, which sometimes isn't good, but hey, that's just how dogs are. Now, do you understand the things you're going into when you get this dog? So what's the upkeep of him? Well, the upkeep of the Cocker Spaniel is that although it enjoys a romp, the Cocker can receive adequate exercise and a long daily walk on a leash. The coat of the Cocker requires a greater commitment than in most breeds. Although pets can be clipped short, in order to maintain a nice coat, it would need to be brushed and combed 2 to 3 times a week, in addition to professional clipping and scissoring every month. Special attention must be paid to ear and eye cleanliness in this breed. The profusely coated feet tend to carry debris. The Cocker is much a social dog, and his banishes outdoors would not be accessible. Cockers have a tendency to become overweight, as we can see, of course. Now, if you are a child listening to this, please cover your ears, cover your eyes. If you are an adult or a teenager, please listen up, take notes, because the health of the Cocker Spaniel, aka the worst part in reading this, is that the major concerns of the Cocker Spaniel you have to look out for is cataracts, glaucoma, PRA, and patellar luxation. Injuries in the legs, injuries in the eyes, and can become blind. So those are always major concerns, but I think it's a major concern for cataracts because it can become blind early. The minor concerns you'd have to look out for is CHD, entropine, allergies, seborrhea, otis externa, liver disease, CHF, phosphofructonases deficiency, urinary stones, cherry eye, cardiomyopathy, and hydrothyroidism. So basically a lot of different problems, mostly, by the sounds of it, internal, with the examples liver disease, cherry stones, urinary stones, cherry eye. It's occasionally seen with gastric torsion, elbow dysplasia, and epilepsy. Gastric torsion can actually be fixed by yourself if you know how to. Basically, you just rub the stomach and make sure all the gas passes through. It's kind of a disgusting thing to do, but with certain dogs you have to, especially ones that can gain weight very easily. The suggested tests are eye, knee, hip, and thyroid. So keep those always tested. DNA for, as well as the DNA for phosphofructokinase deficiency. Good thing to keep an eye on. And the lifespan of them is 12 to 15 years. So they might have a lot of problems, but they can live for a very long time. Now, the form and function of a Cocker Spaniel, although it's very much a show dog, it is the smallest member of the sporting group. The Cocker would be compact and sturdy. Its gait is ground covering, strong and effortless. The coat is silky, flat, and slightly wavy, not overlong. Excessive coat can hinder the dog in the field. The head of the expression are hallmarks of the breed. The expression is soft and appealing, though seldom used for original purpose. The Cocker would still be able to spend a day in the field, should be balanced and athletic. It is true, however, that most Cockers now have too much coat for field work. So you might have to shave them if they want to be out in the field, but aside from that, they're all right. Now, finally, for the final part of this episode, we have the tier list. Now, 5 is the best, or could be the worst. 4 is better than average, or worse than average. 3, you're average, you're cool, you're lame. 2, you're worse, you're bad, oh nay. 1 is the worst and you never want to be, or it could be the best, apparently. So let's get it down. Energy level, exercise requirements, both fat, a 3. So they're average, oh average. They take them on a walk. Their exercise is a key. Now, their playfulness is at a 4. That's about normal, but it's more than average than the average dog. Affection level friendliness towards dogs and their pets are out of 5. They're your friend, they're their friend. Friends of your friend of your animal friend. Now for the others. You got a 4. Ease of training, watchdogability. Friendliness towards strangers are out of 4. Now listen to me carefully. Basically, this is very simple. They can be friends with strangers. Oh man. Now they can also have training very easily. Now watch them. Watch them now. While they watch you, they're a watchdog potential at a 4. Not the best, but potential. Because they're a watchdog potential. Now let's get to the protection. A 1. Oh no, they can't protect you. They can watch out for you, but they cannot protect you. That's not good. It never really is. The worst part about it is the grooming requirements. Now that's at a 4. That's really high. Groom them every day. Brush them to the side. Now we're at the final end. Both at a 3. And then again, the cold tolerance and the heat tolerance are average, a 3. You know, the end. Now, to end this off, the weight that you would want your Cocker Spaniel to be at a healthy weight is 24 to 28 pounds. Not very heavy. The height of these animals for a male is 14.5 to 15.5 inches. And for a female is 13.5 to 14.5 inches. They're very short. Oh my, another type of spaniel next time, which is the English Cocker Spaniel. Now, this dog might look a little familiar, and that's because the English Cocker Spaniel and the normal Cocker Spaniel are very, very similar. I think the only difference is their history. So this should be relatively short, but maybe not. So, now that we know that this dog is not original and a little stupid, a little silly, and of course, me making fun of it, we need to know its history. So the history of the English Cocker Spaniel is that the Spaniel family is one of the largest groups of dogs that once specialized. The English Cocker Spaniel is one of the land spaniels. The land spaniels consisted of larger spaniels that were better for springing game, and smaller spaniels that were better for hunting woodcock. These different sizes appear in the same litters. They're essentially 2 variations of the same breed. Only in 1892 were the 2 sizes considered separate breeds. With the smaller size under 25 pounds designated as the Cocker Spaniel, in fact, because both breeds shared the same gene pool, there were many of the same hunting talents. In 1901, the weight limit was abolished. Cocker Spaniels became extremely popular in England, and the American breeders changed the breed in ways that traditional English Cocker Spaniel enthusiasts objected to. English and American Cocker Spaniels were known together until 1936, when English Cocker Spaniel Club of America was formed and the English Cocker retrieved status as a separate variety. The English Cocker Spaniel Club discouraged the interbreeding of American and English Cockers, and in 1946 the English Cocker was designated to a separate breed. After the breeds were separated, the American Cocker eclipsed the English in popularity, but only in America. Throughout the rest of the world, the English Cocker was by far the more popular of the 2 breeds. It is known simply as the Cocker Spaniel. Wow, so the difference is, basically, their weight and height, which is interesting. Next, we need to know the temperament. I want to own one of these. I'm in England. I don't want the American one. I want the England one. I want the English one. You know, the one that's not used for hunting, like those dirty Americans have. So, what is the temperament of it, Stonesy boy? Well, the temperament of it, good chap, is that the English Cocker Spaniel retains more of its hunting nature than does the American version, and it's also a little more exercise. It is cheerful, inquisitive, demonstrated, devoted, biddable, loyal, and sensitive. It's a social dog that likes to stay close to its human family. Now, the upkeep of this dog. Now, you want to know the upkeep of this dog. Maybe they share the same thing with the British and the American dogs, although American dogs eat more cheeseburgers than, the English dogs eat more biscuits and tea. I don't know. But I would love to go to England one day. Anyways, now you want to know the upkeep. So the upkeep of the English Cocker Spaniel is that they require daily exercise as a necessity, either in form of a long walk on a leash, a good run in the field, or a lively game in the yard. Although the English Cocker would physically live outside in temperate to warm weather, it is such a social dog that it needs best living inside and playing outside. The medium-length coat needs brushing 2 to 3 times per week, plus clipping around the head and ears, scissoring around the feet and tail every 2 months. The ears should be cleaned weekly. So these dogs are very, can easily become very dirty. So yeah, like I said, the English version of this dog seems to be very, how do you say, more of a show dog than a hunter. So yeah, it makes sense why this dog has so many requirements and to upkeep it. Now, for any side of this fun little game that we have of the English and Americans, please, if you're a child, cover your ears. If you're a teenager or an adult, get your notebooks out, because it's time to learn. Because we need to talk about the worst part of the book, the health. The health of the English Cocker Spaniel is that the major concerns are PRA, patellar luxation, legs, eyes. Minor concerns are cataracts, eyes, CHD, kidney disease, internal, and hypothyroidism, thighs, if I'm not mistaken. And they're occasionally seen with cardiomyopathy. I hate that word. And the suggested tests that you should give them are hearing for pectorals, eye, hip, eye, knee, and thyroid. So these should be tested regularly. I would say every 2 months. Their lifespan is 12 to 14 years, which is sad, but you know, it's true. And there's a note given to me by the Encyclopedia of Dog Breeds, 2nd edition by D. Caroline Coley, PhD, which profiles more than 150 breeds of dogs. And it states that deafness is a major concern in pactocolors. CHD is more common in solid colors. PRA is a PRCD type. So the color of your dog matters. Interesting. Now, you don't have a family. Now, and you want to know the form and function of these little doggies. So, well, the form and function of the English Cocker Spaniel. Do you like this voice? I made it up just now, and it was either this one or it's going to be Manakuma. So, you know, take your pick. So, the little form and function of the English Cocker Spaniel is that the English Cocker must be able to find, flush, and retrieve upland game birds a full day of hunting. It must be small enough to penetrate dense cover, but a sufficient size to retrieve larger game. The broad muzzle helps with retrieving. The dog is slightly taller than long, compactly built, and short coupled, whatever. This breed loves to hunt and shows it by wagging its tail when on the job. The English Cocker is a driving, powerful gait that covers ground effortlessly. The coat is a medium length, silky in texture, either flat or slightly wavy. The feathering would not be so profuse if it had been hiding it in the field, but it would be long enough to protect the underside of the dog. The expression is soft and melting, yet dignified. What a dignified little dog. Ah, yes, my dog is dignified and a hunter. We hunt for gamecock, don't you know? But now, it's time for the final part of the learning corner of the day. We're doing it Stonesy's Day, Bop. And that is the tier list. Now, 5, for you cool chaps, is basically the best. 4 is better than average, I guess. 3, you're average, you're weird, you're cool, but whatever, you're average. 2, you're low, you're 4, the average. 1, the worst, the actual worst. Now that's gonna be bad depending on the situation in the tier on the tier list. Let's get this bad. So, the energy level and exercise requirements are at a 3, so it's average. Playfulness is at a 4, so they're more playful than the average dog. The affection level, friendliness towards dogs and friendliness towards other pets are at a 5, so they might be really good for a house dog. The friendliness towards strangers, ease of training, and watchdog ability are at a 4, so, you know, they befriend your brother that they've never seen. They will, you know, be easy to train, and they have pretty good watchdog ability. Their protection ability is at a 2, which, you know, honestly, we haven't found an animal with a higher protection level than a 3, so that's about right. I think we'll get that more when we cover Rottweilers and stuff, or as it's called, the working group. The grooming requirements are at a 3, the cold tolerance are at a 3, and the heat tolerance are at a 3, so you need to groom them regularly, and they're pretty good with the cold and the heat. And finally, for the weight of a healthy breed of the English Cocker Spaniel, the male should be 28 to 34 pounds, and for the female, 26 to 32 pounds. I would bring up what pounds are in England. I don't know if it's kilograms or whatever, but I'm lazy. And the height for the male is 16 to 17 inches, and for the female, 15 to 16. So that is it for today for the English Cocker Spaniel, you twat. You can't say it in an English tone. I'm sorry. God, don't yell at me. Oh, wow, we're learning about another cool type of Spaniel, which is the English Springer Spaniel. Now, something very interesting about the English Springer Spaniel that I know is I actually know a English Springer Spaniel in real life. His name is Bandit. He's very nice. And he's named Bandit because he looks like he has masks, like those old Batman movies with Adam West. So, yeah. It's fun that I actually know a real-life English Springer Spaniel, I would like to say. Asides from that, we are going to need to know about the silly little long doggy that we have in front of us. So the history of the English Springer Spaniel is that as the Spaniels became increasingly specialized, the larger land spaniels had ranged farther afield, became extremely useful at flushing or springing game. Before the advent of shotguns, the game was flushed into nets and then chased by falcons and greyhounds. The first reference of springers referred to the land spaniels in the late 1500s. Around 1800, distinct strains of carefully bred springers began to develop. One of the best known were those bred by the Duke of Norfolk. His dogs were so heavily influenced by the breed that for a while the breed was called Norfolk Spaniels. The name was changed to Springer Spaniel in 1900. The matter was complicated by the fact that the larger Springer and smaller Cocker Spaniels were simply size variations of the same breed. Only in 1902 did the English Kennel Club, EKC, recognize the Springer was a distinct breed. In America, the American Spaniel Club was formed in 1880 and began the task of separating the Springer and the Cocker sizes. After separation, the Springer continued to thrive. It remained popular. The hunters demanded a versatile gun dog that ranges fast and far that can also flush and retrieve. It is also a popular show dog and pet. So now you know the history of this dog. So what's the temperament? I've met a dog like this in real life. I've even taken care of a dog like this in real life, so I could tell you a little more. But for the book's sake, what is the temperament of the English Springer Spaniel? Well, the temperament of the English Springer Spaniel is that the English Springer Spaniel is a cheerful, playful, and energetic, ready to play in the field and evening in the hearth. It does everything with gusto and can be overly enthusiastic unless given plenty of exercise. The typical Springer is the ideal family companion. Which is interesting, because the dog I know, that is the real-life English Springer Spaniel, is kind of playful and not very playful at all. So, I guess that makes you wonder. Anyways, now you know this dog, so what's the upkeep? What do I have to do to keep this dog up and running? Well, the upkeep of the English Springer Spaniel is that, as an energetic and inquisitive dog, the Springer needs daily mental and physical exertion. Hunting is the first choice that satisfies both needs, but an outing in the field, a long walk on a leash, and good obedience lesson can go far from making the Springer a calm and well-behaved house dog. This breed does its best to allow to live in a house with access to a yard. His coat needs brushing or combing 1 to 2 times weekly, plus clipping and scissoring every 2 to 3 months. Springers from field rather than show lines tend to have less of a coat. So yeah, I believe this dog gets brushed. The dog I know gets brushed that much, but I could be wrong. Anyways, now if you are a child, please cover your ears, and if you are an adult or teenager, please get your notebooks out, because we are now going to learn about the health of the English Springer Spaniel. So, the health concerns that we need to know of the English Springer Spaniel is that the major concerns are the otitis externa, CHD, and elbow dysplasia. So, basically a lot of joint problems. Minor concerns are fructokinase deficiency, PRA, and rectal dysplasia. Can get blind easily, can get stomach problems really easily. Occasionally seen with atropine, Rade syndrome, seizures, gastric torsion, and patellar luxation. Those aren't ever good. And suggested tests are hip, elbow, eye, knee, and DNA for phosphofructokinase deficiency. Their lifespan is 10 to 14 years. Sad thing to know, but hey. So I don't have a family. I don't have kids, Stonesy. So what is this dog good for? Well, the form and function of the English Springer Spaniel is that the English Springer Spaniel is compactly built, upstanding with proud carriage, slightly longer than tall but fairly long legs with deep body. Its build should suggest a combination of strength, agility, and endurance. A dog capable of hunting tirelessly under the most difficult of conditions. The outer coat is medium length, neither flat or wavy, and the undercoat is soft and dense. Its combination protects the dog from weather and water and thorns. The gait is long and ground covering. The expression, alert, kindly, and trusting, is an essential feature of the Springer type. Field-bred Springers tend to be lighter boned and have less coat, but have more variable patterning to show the bred Springers. So yeah, they're very fast, they're very outgoing. Now, for the final part of today's episode is the tier list. 5 is the best, 4 is better, 3 is average, 2 is below, 1 is the worst, and now you know. So, with that out of the way, the energy level for these dogs is a 3, so, it's average. The exercise requirements and playfulness are at a 4, which kind of even each other out, so these dogs need a good amount of exercise. The affection level is at a 5, so they love you to the ends of the earth. The friendliness towards dogs is a 3, so make sure they don't get pissy. The friendliness towards other pets are at a 5, so they're good with anything else like cats. Friendliness towards strangers is a 4, so they're better than average. Ease of training is out of 5, so they're really easy to train. Watchdog ability is a 4, so they're pretty good at keeping an eye on things. Protection ability is out of 2, so again, not very protecting, but you're not going to get that till later. Their grooming requirements are out of 4, so I think it's one of the highest we've had so far. So they need grooming like every week or something like that. Their cold tolerance and heat tolerance are out of 3, so about average. And finally, the healthy weight for a male should be about 50 pounds, and for a female, about 40 pounds. The height of a male is 19 to 21 inches. I'm sorry, not pounds. And female should be 18 to 20 inches. Wow. Oh my goodness, I've seen this dog in a movie. The next type of spaniel we'll be reading about is Field Spaniel. I don't actually know a Field Spaniel in real life, but what I do know is they look like giant cups of chocolate milk. I mean, look at him. Look how silly he is. He's got big old droopy eyes. He's so sad. But of course, we can't make fun of him without knowing his history. So, the history of the Field Spaniel is that the Field Spaniel shares its early history with the English Cocker Spaniel. The only difference between the two breeds, initially being one of the size, the Field Spaniel is composed of the Land Spaniels weighing over 25 pounds. These larger Field Spaniels were derived from the Cocker, Sussex, and English Water Spaniels, and were initially required to be black. After becoming recognized as a separate breed for the late 1800s, the Field Spaniels succumbed from breeding and exaggeration. A repeated infusion of Sussex Spaniel blood resulted in the dogs of excessive length, overly heavy bones, and short legs. The breed lost its usefulness as a hunter, and although it enjoyed short vogue in the early 1900s, it ultimately teetered on the brink of extinction. Crosses in English Springer Spaniels made it more effort to recreate the original Field Spaniel. The crosses were successful, and the modern Field Spaniel was not only a handsome replica of its former self, but also an able hunter. All modern Field Spaniels have been traced back to the 4 Field Spaniels from the 1950s. Rodney Regal, Gormac Teal, to Columbia of Tefont, and Elmbury Morua of Rewells. Despite the fact that the Field Spaniels have been shown in America in the late 1800s, no champions have been made up between 1916 and 1966. In fact, the breed was initially extinct in America of much of that time. The breed was reintroduced into America in the late 1960s. The Field Spaniel remains among one of the rarest breeds in America. Ain't that neat? But of course now, you know the cool little rarity facts of the Field Spaniel. So now, you want to own it. But before you own it, you need to know the temperament. Well, the temperament of the Field Spaniel is that the Field Spaniel is the happiest when it has a job to do. Although independent in nature, it is devoted, sensitive, and willing to please. Generally cheerful and affectionate, it is an excellent family companion as long as it is given regular exercise. The Field Spaniel is especially known for its docile nature, and is typically for a Field Spaniel for somewhat reserved with strangers. Ooh, so it might not be good with strangers, but it's pretty good with you. So now, you know that this dog might be a pretty good protector, but what can it do otherwise besides that? How can this dog benefit me? How do I keep this dog up and running? Well, the upkeep of the Field Spaniel is that the Field Spaniel needs daily exercise, and even though it's happiest when given a chance to run and explore, its needs can be met with a long walk on a leash. It does best when allowed to divide its time between the house and yard. It thrives in human companionship and should not be deprived of the family. Its coat needs brushing and combing once or twice a weekly. The hair inside the ears and between the foot pads should be clipped. Straggling hair should be scissored every few months, and some clipping and thinning is needed for some show dogs. The ears should be checked and cleaned regularly. Some can be somewhat sloppy and some snore. Now, if you are a child, please cover your ears. If you're an adult or teenager, please start taking your notes, because we are on the health of the Field Spaniel, aka the worst part of the video. Well, the major concerns of the Field Spaniel is CHD. Minor concerns are otis externa and hyperthyroidism. They're occasionally seen with heart murmurs, patellar luxation, and seizures. Their suggested tests that they should have every month is hip, eye, elbow, heart, patella, and thyroid testing, and their lifespan is 12 to 14 years. Now that you know that weird thing, you can now open up your ears if you are a child, but now you understand that you're not going to have any kids in the future. So what's the form and function of this animal? Well, the form and function of the Field Spaniel is that somewhat longer than tall, solidly built with moderate bone. The Field Spaniel is a dog without exaggeration. A combination of beauty and utility, its stride is long and low, its head held proudly, and outwardly the whale tagging and not carried high. The Field Spaniel is built for both activity and stamina, enabling it to hunt in dense cover or water. It has single coat, which is flat and lightly wavy and moderately long, giving it protection from thorns and water. Its expression is grave and gentle. Now, for the final part of the episode, we have the tier list. 5 is the best, 4 is better, 3 is average, whatever. 2 is below, and 1 is the worst. And now, that's what you know. So, today we are going to the Energy level, exercise requirements, playfulness, and nope, that's about it. Is out of 4. So basically, they're high energy, high exercise, high playful. Their affection level is out of 5, so they're very lovey. The friendliness towards dog is out of 3, which is one of the lower ones, but they're basically average. Friendliness towards other pets is out of 5, which is good. Friendliness towards strangers is out of 3, which, well, is what it said. Ease of training and watchdog ability are out of 4, so they can watch, and you can teach them to watch. Protection ability is out of 2, so below average. Grooming requirements, cold tolerance, and heat tolerance are out of 3, which is about right. So these dogs should be groomed every so often, and, they can stand the heat and cold pretty well. The healthy weight of a field spaniel, no matter gender, should be 35 to 50 pounds, and the height of a male is 18 inches, and 17 for a female is 17 inches, or plus or minus an inch, depending on how they're grown. So that is the field spaniel, and next time we're going to be learning about
Irish Water Spaniel, a breed of spaniel that we haven't covered yet, and it's Irish, so you gotta know it's pretty good. Well, it's also very fluffy and looks like an emo. I mean, look at him. Looks like he listens to Linkin Park. Not saying that while I'm wearing a Linkin Park shirt, totally not. But yeah, he looks like a weirdo. But of course, before you can ever make fun of something, you should know the history of it. So the history of the Irish Water Spaniel is that the Irish Water Spaniel is one of the oldest, most distinctive spaniels. Dogs resembling them are depicted in manuscripts from 1,000 years ago. In the 1100s, mentioned it's made of dogs called Shannon Spaniels, Rat-tailed Spaniels, Whip-tailed Spaniels, or Irish Water Spaniels. Continued references of the Irish Water Spaniel could be found in 1600 on. Around that time, the King of France is said to have been presented with an Irish Water Spaniel. Whether the breed was one to be found in different varieties or whether several similar breeds were forbears, it's matter of conjecture. What is agreed upon is several similar spaniels existed in Ireland: the Northern Irish, Southern Irish, and Tweed Spaniels. The Southern Irish Spaniel, also called McCarthy's breed, is credited to being an eventual major forebear of today's dog. In the mid-1800s, the appearance of the prolific sire Botched, who so influenced the breed that he often credited as being the progenitor of the modern Irish Water Spaniel. The breed entered a show ring in both Britain and America by the late 1800s, and in 1875 as the third most popular sporting dog. Despite its enchantedly clownish appearance and its adept water retrieving ability, the Irish Water Spaniel has lost popularity and is rarely seen in the show ring and found as a family pet. So you know the weirdly royal history of the Irish Water Spaniel. So, what else? What about the temperament of it? Well, you want to own this dog since it's now commonly found in homes. So the temperament of the Irish Water Spaniel is that the Irish Water Spaniel goes at everything in life with gusto and enthusiasm. It loves to swim, run, hunt, and play with needs of lots of exercise. A clown at heart, and it could be suborn and independent, so it needs to be trained with patience, firmness, and a sense of humor. It tends to be reserved to strangers and is generally good with children, though some can be timid. So, pretty good with children, pretty fun, is basically a clown. But, sometimes could be a little bad. So now you know this dog and you know how fluffy it is, so you know what, now your kid wants one. So what's the upkeep? How do I keep this dog up and running? Well, the upkeep of the Irish Water Spaniel is this active, athletic, inquisitive breed needs a lot of mental and physical exertion to keep it from becoming frustrated or bored. An hour of free running and strenuous playing a day is necessary to satisfy its needs. Obedience work can also be helpful in giving it mental challenges it enjoys. The curly coat needs brushing and combing 2 to 3 times a week, plus scissoring every few months. Like all dogs, it loses its coat periodically. However, the hair tends to become trapped in the other hairs rather than fall off. If not combed out, they will form mats and cords. Mats and cords in dog hair is more like can cause serious problems because that's where disease and bugs can start living. And, once that happens, it can get real bad real fast. So, brush your dog. Of course, now, if you are a child, please cover your ears. If you are an adult or a teenager, please get your notebooks, because it is now time to talk about the health of the Irish Water Spaniel. The health of the Irish Water Spaniel, for its major concerns, is CHD and ODS externa, basically eyes and brain. Minor concerns are discasis, I think this is pronounced. It's more of a hip thing. It's occasionally seen with sarcophagus. Wait, what? That's not sarcophagus. What am I talking about? Megasophagus. Seizures and nail bed disease. So its nails can easily get disease, I assume. Suggested tips are on the hip, but I would also say on the body itself more than the hip. although as a spaniel it is a running dog. Its lifespan is 10 to 12 years, and there's a special note given to us by the Encyclopedia of Dog Breeds, second edition by D. Caroline Coley, PhD, that states, may have adverse reactions to sulfa drugs in ivermectin. So, watch out for what you give it. Finally, second to finally, you don't have family, you don't have anyone, but you still want this dog. So what's the form and function? Well, the form and function of the Irish Water Spaniel is the tallest spaniel. However, it must never be so large that it be pulled into a boat. The body is a medium length. The whole being is slightly rectangular in appearance. The general appearance suggests both dash and endurance. The gait is smooth and ground covering. The coat is one of the breed's distinctive features. The body is covered with a double coat consisting of crisp ringlets. Its combination imparts water, weather, and thorn resistance to the dog and enabling to hunt in the harshest conditions. The Irish Water Spaniel's expression says it all: alert, intelligent, and quizzical. So this is a very intelligent dog, but we should learn more about that in the tier list. So 5 is the best, 4 is better, 3 is average, 2 is below, and 1 is the worst. Now that you know, let's get to the reading. So its energy level, exercise requirements, and playfulness are all at a 5. So it's very playful, very much energy, and very much needs a lot of exercise. Its affection level, friendliness towards dogs, friendliness towards other pets are at a 3. So it's average. As long as they're nice to it, it'll be nice to them. Friendliness towards strangers is at a 2. So like I said earlier, it's going to be alert and a little more strenuous. Ease of training is at a 5. So it's pretty easy to train. Like, it's got to be one of the easiest to train. Their watchdog ability is at a 4. Their protection ability is at a 3, which I said before we get to the guard dog type of section of this book. You're not going to see a protection level higher than 3, maybe even 4. Grooming requirements are at a 3, which is surprising. I'd put these at more of a 5, especially since they can get disease very easily from their fur not getting groomed. Cold tolerance is at a 4, and heat tolerance is at a 3. So basically, they can take the cold easier than the heat. So yeah, keep an eye on that. So the healthy weight of a male should be around 55 to 65 pounds, and the healthy weight of a female Irish Water Spaniel should be 45 to 58 pounds. The average height of a male Irish Water Spaniel is 22 to 24 inches, pretty tall, and for a female, it's 21 to 23. I guess it's not that surprised. I guess it's not that surprising, of course, because Ooh, and the next type of spaniel reading is
Sussex Spaniel. It's a funny name. Laugh at the funny name. But understand that is the dog. Look at the picture of the baby dog. That is what you're laughing at, you monster. You're laughing at that? And you're making fun of a dog because of its name that it couldn't even give itself without knowing the history? You should know. Before you make fun of anything or have a real opinion on something, you should know the history. Don't ever take some opinion off of someone else. That's lazy. Don't ever do that. Because in reality, who's the real lazy one? The person who just believed someone, or the person who researched it and has information to back up their claim? Well, I don't think you need to be a genius to figure that one out. Anyways, the history of the Sussex Spaniel, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is that the Spaniels of Sussex are mentioned in the sporting publication of 1820 as good working dogs. The name was adopted from Sussex, England, the home of the first important kennel, established in 1795. These small land spaniels, the breed soon to become popular among the states around Sussex County. They were adapted to upland shooting dogs. Slow working, but they're good nose and apt to give tongue when they scent. This latter trait hurt the breed in the field trials in the early 1900s when quiet hunters were preferred. In addition, American hunters usually prefer the faster hunter. Although one of the first 10 AKC, American Kennel Company, recognized breeds and among the earliest breeds that compete at dog shows. The Sussex had never been particularly popular at dog shows, or never been particularly popular or competitive show dog. Perhaps because of the reasons, the Sussex Spaniel has perilously closed the extinction throughout most of the 20th century. At times, the breed had so few individuals that inbreeding would be practiced to a greater extent than otherwise describable. In 1954, the cross was made in the Clumber Spaniel in an effort to expand the gene pool. The Sussex gene pool remains limited because the breed is still among the rarest of the American Kennel Company's AKC breeds. So, now you know the kind of sad story of the Sussex Spaniel. Wow, its name really... this dog really doesn't have a lot going for it. It has a funny name and really was just made fun of by the American Kennel Company and probably the English Kennel Company, considering not even they would take their own breed of dog, considering This is one of the first dogs in the English Kennel Company. So, yeah, it's kind of sad. But, yeah, you want to own this thing. You feel bad for it, so you want to own it, which is really sad, because look at that dog. He's so sad. So yeah, what is the temperament of this dog, Stonesy? Well, the temperament of the Sussex Spaniel is that the Sussex Spaniel is more laid back than other Spaniels. This makes it well suited for city life, but it still appreciates the chance to take a wild hunt up birds. It may be noisier than most other Spaniels when hunting, which is made up of less popular with hunters. If left alone while other activities are ongoing, it may bark or howl. At home, it is calm, steady, and easygoing. Its somber expression is misleading because it's quite cheerful. Oh, so it just looks sad. It reminds me of my Basset Hound. Speaking of, I think we might be learning about our Basset Hound kind of soon. The page for the Basset Hound would be page... I should be able to find it pretty easily, actually. I'll find it after. Now, you want to know more about this sad-looking dog, even though he's very happy. Well, that means you want to know the upkeep. The upkeep of the Sussex Spaniel is the Sussex needs daily exercise. But its needs are be met with a good walk and a lead and a short romp in the yard. Given the chance, it will appreciate a longer foray into the field. It does best in the house that also has access to a yard. The coat needs brushing and combing 2 to 3 times a week. Wow, this dog needs a lot of brushing, but for that beautiful mane, I wouldn't put it behind them. Now, for any children here, cover your ears. For any teenagers or adults, please get out your notebooks if you are trying to own, or if you do own a Sussex Spaniel, because the health of the Sussex Spaniel, one of my worst parts of these videos. The major concerns of the Sussex Spaniel is the CHD, intervertebral disc disease, so leg if I'm not mistaken. Minor concerns are otitis externa, heart murmurs, and a large heart. Those are all really bad. Chest, yeah, but it's all chest really. It's occasionally seen with nothing. Suggested tests are really nothing. I would give this dog chest tests personally, and its lifespan is 11 to 13 years. Not as long as any other Spaniel, but you know, pretty good for a dog. Now, please uncover your ears, because you need to know the form and function. I don't have kids. Why would I care? So, the form and function of a Sussex Spaniel is a long, low, rectangular body covulated with a muscular and rather massive physique. Allows the Sussex to penetrate dense cover when hunting. Its movement is deliberate and rolling because of the short legs and comparatively wide body. Its gait is emphasis power over need. The abundant body coat is flat or slightly wavy, giving protection from thorns. A distinctive feature is the long feather between the toes, which would be long enough to cover the toenails. The expression is somber and serious, even frowning, but the wagging tail bellies its true nature. The Sussex tends to bark when hunting, which helps the hunter locate it in thick cover. Now for the final thing, tell me what's the plan? Are you time for one more dance? Because we're at the final glance. Did anyone get that reference? Comment if you did, because I'd be surprised. So basically, let me give you this quick rundown, because I haven't given this rundown in a month. 5 is the best, 4 is better, 3 is your average, and 2 is worst. 1 is the worst. All in all, now let's get to this tier list, big or small. I don't care. Okay, the energy level, exercise requirements, and playfulness of the Sussex Spaniel is out of 3. So average energy, it goes sleepies, it needs good exercise but not much, and playfulness. The affection level is out of 4. This dog loves you. Their friendliness towards dogs and friendliness towards strangers is out of 3. This dog is okay with dogs. The friendliness towards other pets is out of 4. They love hamsters. Ease of training is out of 2, which for Spaniel species seems to be relevant. The watchdog ability is out of 3, out of 4. So they're pretty good at watching out and keeping an eye on things. But their protection ability, grooming requirements, cold tolerance, and heat tolerance are out of 3. So they're alright at protecting. They do need a good amount of grooming, like said, 2 to 3 times a week. And good cold tolerance, good heat tolerance, good time anywhere. The weight. The average weight for both female and male Sussex Spaniels is 35 to 45 pounds for a healthy weight, and the height is 13 to 15 inches. And I pray not feet, because that would be a big dog. Next time, we will be reading about the Welsh Springer Spaniel. I feel like I'm saying Total Drama Island when I say that. Not that this dog would make it anywhere near Total Drama Island. This type of dog is not famous. This type of dog is weird. This type of dog has a weird face. It looks like it's someone standing, but its nose is where its butt is. I mean, look at that dog. Look at the puppy. It's so silly looking. It's so weird looking. But of course, before you make fun of anything or have a true opinion on something, you should probably research it. So if someone ever asks you to defend yourself on your opinion, you have facts and checks to back it up. Though a fact and a truth are two different things, because the truth of the matter could be something, but a fact can never change. So today, we are going to learn about the history of the Welsh Springer Spaniel, because you must know the history before you make fun of something or have a true opinion on it. So, the history of the Welsh Springer Spaniel is that a dog identified as a Welsh Springer Spaniel is mentioned in some of the earliest records of the law in Wales, dating around 1300. Whether this dog is forebearer of today's Welsh Springer is a dispute. However, other evidence indicates the possibility of the Welsh Springer either developed alongside the English Springer or resulted from crosses of English Springers to Clumber Spaniels. Though land Spaniels have been used in Wales for some time before the Welsh Springers emerged in the recognized breed, the early dogs were probably not a uniform lot. At first, the dog shows from England, English and Welsh Springers, were shown together as one breed because the only difference at that time were their color. The Welsh grew in popularity, the breed came to America and was recognized by the AKC in 1906. And the breed failed to gain the support it needed. By the end of the World War II, it may have totally disappeared from America. New imports, and luckily new supporters, arrived in the Welsh, had enjoyed a steady, if modest, popularity, as not as flashy show ring as the English Springer. The Welsh had made up for its in field. It is all-purpose, all-terrain hunter with a keen nose and a flush for the retrieve over land and water. So this dog does look funny, but it actually has a lot of good uses. This is a pretty good hunter spaniel, or a type of spaniel that hunts. I believe there was a hunter spaniel that we talked about before. But now you know about this cool dog's history and how technically it's all a type of mystery and all could have started with a big bang bang. But what's the temperament of this dog? Is it mean? It could be a good hunter, but it could be mean. So the temperament of the Welsh Springer Spaniel is that it's less exuberant than the English Springer. The Welsh Springer Spaniel is steady and easygoing. It still needs plenty of hard exercise, however, as it loves to hunt for birds. It is extremely devoted to its family, but it's independent in nature. It is reserved to strangers, some may even be timid. A sensitive breed, it requires ample socialization, so social life. If you don't know what that means. So now, you know this dog is pretty social, pretty cool, pretty tempered, but it should still hunt. So, what's the upkeep? How do I keep this dog up and running? Well, the upkeep of the Welsh Springer Spaniel is that the Welsh needs daily exercise. I don't know if that's just speaking on the Welsh in general or the Welsh Springer Spaniel, but the Welsh need daily exercise, which can be met with long walks on a leash combined with strenuous games in the yard. It especially likes jaunts a field and makes a good hiking companion. It does best dividing its time between indoors and out. The coat needs brushing once or twice weekly and also needs occasional scissoring to neaten stragglers. So this dog needs a lot of work, but it's a pretty good hiking dog. That's good to know. Now, if you're a child, please cover your ears, for you do not need to know this part. If you're a teenager or an adult, please grab your notebooks, because if you own a Welsh Springer Spaniel, this is good to know. The health of the Welsh Springer Spaniel is that major concerns are CHD. Minor concerns are glaucoma, otitis externa, and epilepsy. It's occasionally seen with cataracts, which is sad. Suggested tests are on the hips and eyes. Just keep an eye on it. Get it? Got it. Good. And the lifespan for a Welsh Springer Spaniel is 12 to 15 years. Wow, this is an old dog. That's pretty good to know, though. Before we get to the finale, we need another form and function. You don't have kids, you're a hunter. So what's the form and function of these dogs? The Welsh Springer Spaniel is a hunting dog. It should be hard, muscular condition. It is no way a breed of exaggeration. It's slightly larger than tall, compact, and possessing substance without of coarseness. It strives for a powerful and ground covering. The coat is flat, and water and weather and thorns and nuts so it's exercise, and the hindrance in the dog's work and flushing spaniel. The expression is soft. Looks kind, is a hard worker. Very nice. This is the type of dog you would hire when you're doing an interview. You should be like the Welsh Springer Spaniel. Look kind, but work hard. But now it's time for the tier list. 5. 5? Well, 5 is the best, better than the rest. 4 is good, okay. 3 is better, or pretty much average. 2 is worse, oh no, oh gosh. 1 is the worst it ever can be. Now let's get to the tier listy. So, the energy level, exercise requirements, and playfulness of the Welsh Springer Spaniel is at a 3. Average energy, average exercise requirements, and average playfulness. Not very playful, unless you want to be playful. The affection level is at a 4. The very loving. The friendliness towards dogs and friendliness towards other pets is out of 3. This is kind of good news, but friendliness towards strangers is out of 2. So, invite your brother. You don't like your brother, this dog can bite it. The ease of training is out of 3. The watchdog ability is out of 4. The protection ability is out of 2. Surprising. The grooming requirements out of 3. Pretty high. Cold tolerance is out of 3. Heat tolerance is out of 3. Average. The weight of both female and male Welsh Springer Spaniels is 35 pounds to 50 pounds. That is a wide margin. Wow. And the height of a male Springer Spaniel, average height, is 18 to 19 inches, and for female is 17 to 18 inches. I don't know who's been measuring all these dogs to get this type of mathematical average, but who knows. Oh my gosh, we are finally out of the Spaniel family, because next time we are going to be reading about Learning Corner of the Day, doing it up Stonesy's way. Pop. Today we are starting on our new breed of animal, though I do believe it is just him and him alone. We are learning about the Spinone Italiano. I don't know how to exactly pronounce this proper. I just know that this dog is seen a lot in media. You might recognize this dog for, I don't know, many movies and many TV shows, but maybe you don't know anything about him. And, I mean, how can you not know something about this dog without knowing its history? So, the history of the Spinone Italiano is that the Spinone is one of the most early breeds of developed in pointing dog, with evidence of wire-haired pointing dogs dating as far back as the 500 BC. Dogs resembling the Spinone can be found in artwork of the 15th and 16th century Italy. Still, its exact origin remains a mystery, although some believe it arose in Celtic wire-haired stock, whereas others placed its origins in the Greek traders who brought it in Italy during the times of the Roman Empire. Unfortunately, few records remain of the breed's subsequent development, even though present-day Spinone traced back principally to Italy's predominant region. It proved itself adept in penetrating thorny cover and finding feathered fur game. During World War II, the Spinone further distinguished itself in tracking German patrols. The end of the war found a breed in trouble, however, because its numbers had been decimated. Many of the remaining dogs crossed to other breeds. The Spinone was in danger of being lost. In the 1950s, breeders began a concerted effort to reconstruct the Spinone Italiano. Its hunting abilities are well worth the effort. It's a dog that can point, set, retrieve, aided by a good nose and good sense. It's noted for hunting as its fast trot and diagonal pattern that keeps it fairly close to a hunter and classified as a versatile hunting breed. It's now a popular dog in Italy and some other European countries, but has been slower to attract attention in America. The Spinone Italiano attained AKC, or the American Chemical Company's status, in 2000. The word Spinone is derived from Pino, an Italian thorn bush, though to be tough-skinned dogs that we hunt in search of small game, often hiding within the plural form of Spinoni, Spinoni. The singular is Spinone, Spinone. Huh, so this animal is actually pronounced the Spinone Italiano. How fun. But now you know about the dog's history and how it's really not in the Americas. Maybe my European viewers or, anyone else could recognize this dog. And it's kind of cool history on how it really doesn't have a history besides art. So you want to own it. But what about its temperament, Stonesy boy, you may ask? Well, the temperament of the Spinone Italiano is that this is a devoted and gentle dog, very willing to please. It's affectionate and gets along well with others and pets and children. It's always courageous. The Spinone is calmer and easygoing than the most pointing breeds. Very calm, very kind animal. Seems like it. But now that you want to know now that you know the temperament, you want to know, how do I keep this dog from being the dog? So, the upkeep of the Spinone Italiano is like all other sporting dogs. The Spinone needs daily exercise. This can take the form of the long walk or good run off a leash. It can live outdoors in temperate and cool climates, but it's a family dog and prefers to share time with its people. Coat care consists of weekly brushing, plus occasional hand stripping to neaten the face and feet. Now, if you are a child listening to it, please cover your ears. Any teenagers or adults who own this type of breed, please grab yourself a notebook, or maybe just take notes mentally, however way you want to do it. For we are now going to learn about the health of the Spinone Italiano. The health of it is its major concerns are CHD. Minor concerns are entropine, gastric torsion, otis externa, and cerebellar ataxia. So chest, lower intestine, and upper intestine, if I'm not mistaken. It's occasionally seen with elbow dysplasia and allergies. I think everything is occasionally seen with allergies, but maybe this dog has a certain reason why. Couldn't tell you. Suggested tests are hip and eye, though I would also say possibly body if could be. And their lifespan is 12 to 14 years. How fun. All right, now that you know their health, anyone want to listen? But you know what? Why did you say cover your ears, kids? I don't have kids. Stonesy, I don't have kids, so what is the form and function of this animal to a man who doesn't have kids? Well, the form and function of the Spinone Italiano is that the Spinone Italiano has a hound look about it, and has a fairly long head and muzzle, large drop ears, and somewhat ponderous lips. It's strong, muscular dog, able to trot fast pace all day and retrieve over water and land. Its dense, weary coat allows it to hunt under any conditions. The coat is generally single, consisting of rough, dry, thick hair, about 1.5 to 2.5 inches in length. Longer hair garnishing the lips and eyebrows adds further protection in addition to adding its intelligent and gentle expression. Now, for the final part of today's video is the tier list. So, to explain this in a fast way, 5 is the best, 4 is better, 3 is average, 2 is worse, and 1 is the worstest. Cool. I kind of forgot the little jingle I made out of it. Sorry. So, at a glance for this is that its energy level, exercise requirements, and playfulness are at a 3, so pretty average. Its affection level is at a 4, kind of loving. Its friendliness towards dogs is a 3, friendliness towards other pets and strangers is at a 4, could be bad, could be good. Ease of training is at a 3, watchdog ability is at a 4, protection ability is at a 1. Ugh. Grooming requirements is at a 2, so if you want that nice little counterbalance. And of course, never will change. Cold tolerance and heat tolerance are at a 3, so pretty average, like every other dog. The weight of a male Spinone Italiano is 31 to 82 pounds, and a female is 62 to 71 pounds. Quite a gap. The height of a male Spinone Italiano, I just like to say the name honestly, is 23 to 27 inches, and a female is 22 to 25. So these are pretty tallish dogs, I guess. Like, not very tall, but, you know. Ooh, you want to talk about tall? Next type of dog breed that we're going to go on to is the one you're going to learn in the next episode. It's weird, because right now usually would be the start of the reading corner of the day, doing it up Stonesy's way pop. But for some reason, with this book, Willow Dean, it's not. It's very strange. I'm very confused by it too. But yeah. Hope you guys have a super fantastic, wonderful day. If you like Be Efficient, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys take what we've learned today to heart. I don't know how to feel about Willow Dean. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Today, we are going to learn about the dog breed, the Vizsla. I don't know if it's Russian. I don't know if it's American. We will know by its history, but look at it. There's many of it, with different colored collars. Different colored collars is the little dog. Different colored collars is the Vizsla. Very fun little rhyme. But it looks silly. It's a very silly dog. But of course, I can't make fun of it until I know the history. As you should know by now, before you dare make any assumptions on anything, you should know the history beforehand, just so you have an upper hand in any arguments, conversations, or maybe if you want to know the truth, you could be tricked. So, the history of the Vizsla is that the Vizsla's forebears have included breeds that mayors collected as they swarmed across Europe before settling in Hungary over 1,000 years ago. Writings on falconry from the Middle Ages describe dogs of Vizsla type. The Hungarian plains were rich in game, and hunters wanted a fast but close-working dog that could not only point and retrieve birds but trail mammals over thick ground cover. The breed was unquestionably established in the 18th century, having found special favor by barons and warlords over the time. By the end of the 19th century, however, the breed had greatly declined in numbers. It received through the discovery of careful breeding about a dozen good specimens. World War II spread the Vizsla throughout the world. Hungarians fleeing Russian occupation took their pointing dogs to various other countries, including America, where their handsome appearance and exceptional hunting abilities were soon appreciated. The American Kennel Company, or AKC, recognition came in 1960. Once again, the Vizsla quickly gained admirers, and the breed is now regularly seen as a field, show ring, and home. It's also sometimes called the Hungarian Vizsla or Hungarian Pointer. How cool! A German dog! He doesn't look like a German dog, but I guess he is. So now that we know the history, you want this dog. Your kid is grabbing at your pants or your shirt and being like, "Parent, can I have this animal?" But you must know the temperament. What if it's violent? What if it's aggressive? Well, the temperament of the Hungarian pointer, the Hungarian Vizsla, or as we're just going to keep calling it, the Vizsla, is that it's bred to be the close working gun dog. The Vizsla has energy to range all day. It's true to hunter at heart, a talented pointer, and always on the lookout for a bird scent. It can become frustrating and destructive if not given adequate exercise, but most can be stubborn. Some can be timid, and others can be overly excitable. It is gentle, affectionate, and sensitive, and can be protective. The Vizsla makes a good companion for active owner who spends a lot of time outdoors. Maybe not the best for kids, but if you're an active man or woman and you go hiking a lot, maybe this dog is for you. Now that you know what this temperament is, there's got to be some type of catch. I go outside, I go hiking, I go do all these things. So how do I keep this dog up and running like I do to my beautiful own body? Well, the upkeep of the Vizsla is that the Vizsla needs a lot of strenuous exercise every day. This is an active breed that cannot be expected to meet its energy requirements in a short walk within a small yard. It needs to be jogged or allowed to run in the large enclosed area. Otherwise, its needs are minimal, and its coat requires a little care, except for an occasional brushing to remove dead hair. It can live outside in the warm climates, given adequate shelter, but should sleep indoors on cold nights. It needs a soft bed. Most of all, it needs family interaction. Maybe it is good for family. And if you have any family near you, like any small children, please cover their ears. If you're a teenager or an adult, please grab your notebooks or just take notes in your mind. For we are going to talk about the health of the Vizsla, the saddest part in the videos. So the major concerns you need to look out for the Vizsla is epilepsy. Minor concerns are CHD, lymphosarcoma, and there's occasionally seen with PRA, dwarfism, tricuspid valve dysplasia, persistent right arcadic arch, and hyperthyroidism. Now, you might be wondering, what is dwarfism and why would I care? It's just my dog, but smaller and cuter. Well, actually, it still has the same body and organ parts of a dog of its natural size. So, if you ever have a dog with dwarfism, you might want to get them checked out immediately. It may be cute for now, but their bodies will overexert and overcreate. Then, if their bodies try to, like the breed is, how they're very exercise worthy, if they exercise too much, they may have heart and lung problems because of it, especially with a big dog such as this. Their suggested tests are hip and thyroid, and their lifespan are 10 to 14 years. The second to final thing we're going to learn today is the form and function. I don't have kids. This dog's already pretty perfect for not having kids, but let's just read the form and function. I'm not used to this part. So, the form and function of the Vizsla is that the Vizsla is slightly built but muscular, giving it speed and endurance in the field. Its gait is light, graceful, smooth, and ground covering. Its short, smooth coat is dense, providing some protection from the elements, and the golden rust color is a hallmark of the breed. Now, finally, we're at the tier list, which is basically a summary of everything, but in a tier list, because tier lists are cool, okay? Goodness. So, for at a glance, we got 3 for the 3 is average, 5 is the best, 1 is the worst, and 2 and 4 are all right. Well, in their own respective, directions. Anywho, the energy level and exercise requirements are at a 3, so pretty average. Their playfulness is at a 4, that very kind of playful. Affection level is at a 5, they're very loving. Friendliness towards dogs is at a 3. Friendliness towards other pets is a 4. Friendliness towards strangers is a 5. So that could be good, could be bad. Ease of training is pretty average. Watchdog ability is at a 4. Their protection ability and grooming requirements are at a 1, so there's some good and some really bad. And cold tolerance is at a 2, which I've never seen before. That's surprising. And heat tolerance is at a 3. Finally, the weight of both a male and female Vizsla for a healthy dog is 45 to 65 pounds, and the height for a male is 24 to 22 inches. I don't know why I read that backwards. And a female is 21 to 23. Well, ain't that nice? But yeah, next time we will be reading about the thing we're going to read in the next video. I don't know how I keep catching you guys like this. Catching you guys with your eyes down. Also, I want to make this clear. We actually only have the next dog and the dog after that before we're finally outside of the sporting group. And then we will be going into the hound group. So that is exciting. So, I hope you guys have a super fantastic, wonderful day. Be polite, be efficient, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Today, we are learning about I don't know. It's kind of a long name. The Weimaraner. I think. Yes, today we're learning about the Weimaraner. Today we're learning about the Weimaraner. And yes, those are all staying in post. I just don't know how to say this thing's name. So we're going to call him the Weimaraner because I don't know how the heck to pronounce its name. So, look at that dog. Funny name, big name. Looks like every other dog in the world. But is it? Before I can judge, I should know its history. So, the history of the Weimaraner, which it'll probably teach me how to say its name, I hope. The history of the Weimaraner is Germany has always been a country rich in wildlife. What? And German dogs breeds have gained over the reputation as some of the best of the world. Yep. Weimaraner was produced in the 19th century by a concerted effort to create the ideal all-round gun dog that would hunt game for all sizes, including deer, bear. This effort was sponsored by the court of Weimar, and the breed was initially known as Weimar Pointer. Some of the breed's forebears included the Bloodhound, Red Scheisenhound, and near early pointing breeds. The origin of the Weimarer's distinctive gray and is unknown, but an early feature of the breed process is strictly overseen by a German Weimaraner club. Dogs would have been sold for non-members, and membership was hard to obtain. Dogs from non-approved breedings would be registered, and poor specimens had to be destroyed. Only when the American entry into the club was allowed to take on 2 dogs back to America in 1929 did the Weimaraner leave its native land. Early American Weimaraners performed extraordinarily in obedience competitions, and that they aroused great interest. As more enthusiasts were attracted to the breed, they discovered its great worth in hunting companion. The American Kennel Company, or AKC, recognition came from 1943. The breed's beauty and versatility as personal gun dog, pet, and competition dog have earned it steady following. Very cool. Once German, now American. This dog is really neat. So, why now my kid is telling me I want this dog, dad, or mom, or sister, or brother, or whatever. So, now, what are you going to do? So, you must know its temperament first. So, the temperament of the Weimaraner is that the Weimaraner is bold and rambunctious, sometimes too much for small children. It loves to run and hunt and can become frustrated and destructive if kept penned up. The Weimaraner may not be good for small pets unless raised with them, and can be stubborn and headstrong but learns easily. It functions best as an active owner who enjoys outdoor activities and wants a fun-loving companion. Breeders describe them as needy and in-your-face, demanding attention. Ooh, needy, not good with kids. This is for the guy or girl who lives alone and goes out and exercises with their little joggy weights. You know what I mean? Maybe that's you. Don't know. But yeah, now for the upkeep. The upkeep of the Weimaraner is that it needs daily extraneous exertion and must for the Weimaraner. It's breed for city life unless its owner is a jogger. Even then, it needs to stretch its legs, run, and explore in a large, safe area. It needs a yard at home and is not suited for cold nights outside or separation from people. As a social dog, it needs best when it can divide its time between indoors and out. Coat care is minimal, occasional brushing to remove dead hair. Now, if you are any kid, I don't know why you're here, this dog isn't for you, but do cover your ears, and any adult, please start taking notes. For the health is actually very minimal, huh? The health of the Weimaraner is, its major concerns are gastric torsion, stomach. Minor concerns are spinal dysplasia, a misformed spine, and CHD, entropin, and distichiasis. So basically, get it tested for its stomach, or for its entire body. Like main body. Oh, I'm sorry, there's more. VWD, hemophilia, and hypertonic osteodystrophy. It's occasionally seen with ununited ericoronal process, inversion of nictitating membrane, PRA, dwarfism, tricipid valve dysplasia, persistent right arterial arch, and hypothyroidism. Its suggested tests are hip, eye, and blood. The lifespan of these dogs are 10 to 13 years. Now, the second to final thing before we end the episode off is the form and function. What is this thing, form and function, Stonesy? Well, I already just said it's not for kids, so I don't know why you're asking me this, but I'll read it to you anyway. The form and function of the Weimaraner is built to hunt with great speed and endurance and combines great stamina, raciness, and alert demeanor. It's find aristocratic features with a kind expression. The gait is smooth and effortless. The short, sleek coat is noted for its unique gray color. Very nice. Very cool. Now, for the tier list. 5 is the best, 4 is alright, 3 is average, 2 is not alright, and 1 is the worst. Now go. So, the energy level is out of 5. Wow, I think this is the first. Exercise requirements is out of 4. Playfulness is out of 4. Affection level is out of 3. Friendliness towards dogs, other pets, and strangers are out of 2. Watch out. Ease of training is out of 4. Watchdog ability is out of 5. Protection ability is out of 4, which is new. Grooming requirements is out of 1. Cold tolerance is out of 2. And heat tolerance is out of 3. This is a very interesting dog. Seems very strong, just not very social. Kind of like a tank. The weight for both male and female Weimaraners for healthy life is 55 to 90 pounds. Wow, these are heavy dogs. Maybe they judge in height because the male is 25 to 27 inches and female is 23 to 25 inches. So not very tall, yet very big. Interesting. Well, next time is going to be the final dog of this section, and it's going to be the one you're going to read in the next episode. So, hope you guys have a fantastic, wonderful day. Be polite, be efficient, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Today, we're learning about the wire-haired pointing griffon. Freaking sweet. So, the wire-haired pointing griffon is very fluffy. It's a weird breed, actually. It's kind of fluffy, kind of not fluffy. And yes, that is the same breed. I guess their hair gets more molted as they grow. I couldn't tell you. I've never held one of these dogs in my life. I've never seen one of these dogs in my life. Also, did you guys ever notice that in the background there's a Bulbasaur? I just realized that now, and I'm the one who bloody made it! Anyways, before we can make fun of these dogs and their wilting hair and how they have everywhere, we must know the history, for if you ever want to, in your life, make fun of something or learn about something in an argument, because arguments are very prominent in this world, you must know its history, or else you may say some pseudoscience. So, today, for the history of the wire-haired pointing griffon here, the history is unlike the development of most breeds. Most of the development of the wire-haired pointing griffon was deliberate and fairly well documented, beginning in the middle 1800s with the creation of the Cherville griffon here, which was subsequently crossed with the setter and pointer. It was Edward Corthelis of Holland, however, who was credited for developing and refining the breed. In fact, the griffon is still known as the Corthelis griffon throughout most of the world. He began his mission in 1874, crossing 20 dogs, representing 7 breeds: Griffons, Spaniels, Water Spaniels, German and French pointers, and a setter. Corthelis traveled extensively in France and popularized the new breed whenever he went. Wherever it was the field activity, bench show, or business meeting, through his French connections, this new breed became adopted in France, where it gained a reputation as a deliberate, careful hunter with a good nose. It was in France that the breed found a stronghold, causing people to consider it as a French breed despite its Dutch roots. By 1887, the breed type was stable and a breed standard was published. The first show classes for the breed were offered in 1888 in England, although at the time it was referred to as a Russian setter or retriever. Apparently, any well-furred dog was assumed to be of Siberian origin. In fact, the first griffon registered in America was registered as a Russian setter in 1887. Its popularity grew steadily, only as it halted in the Second World War. After the war, its reputation was an ideal dog for the walking hunter again, gained a new popularity. But the initiation of competitive field trials, which is much faster-paced breeds dominated, caused many competitive hunters to turn away from the griffon. Despite its low numbers, the wire-haired pointing griffon was loyal followers who valued its excellent abilities not only as a pointer and retriever, but also as a versatile and loyal companion. In fact, it is often called the supreme gun dog. Wow! So not only did this dog is a crossbreed of every dog we've already learned already, but it's also considered one of the most supreme of the dogs. Isn't that neat? But now you know about this cool dog's really neat history. So now you want to know the background, the temperament. What the heck is the temperament? What is this dog gonna bite my kids? Don't know. Don't care. Just kidding about the don't care part, but don't know. Truly don't. So the temperament of the wire-haired pointing griffon here is that the wire-haired pointing griffon is skilled field dog, pointing and retrieving with a deliberate style, generally staying within a hunter's gun range. It combines independent action with the ability directed by a hunter. It is equally adept family pet, absolutely devoted, willing to please, amiable, and often comical. It's generally friendly towards strangers, other dogs, and pets. Now, you know that this dog is kind with kids and humans and, well, really anyone. So what's the upkeep? How am I going to keep this dog as kind and happy as it is? Well, the upkeep of the wire-haired pointing griffon here is that the wire-haired pointing griffon needs daily exertion, either in the form of jogging, games, or a run in the field. It particularly enjoys swimming, and it can live outdoors in temperate weather as long as it's warm shelter. But it does best when allowed to be both indoor and outdoor dog. Its harsh coat needs combing and brushing once or twice a week, plus hand stripping and remove dead hair twice a year. Its ears need regular cleaning, plucking with the hair in the canal in order to avoid ear problems. Now, if you are a child, please cover your ears. If you are a teenager or an adult, please grab a notebook or take notes with your mind. Because the health of the wire-haired pointing griffon, and the worst part of this video in my opinion, is that their major concerns are nothing. Minor concerns are CHD, otis externa, entropin, and extropin. So, commonly, but not very commonly. It's occasionally seen with nothing. Its suggested tests are hip and eye, and lifespan is 12 to 14 years. So this seems like a very nice min-max dog. If you have a good family and stuff, get a wire-haired pointing griffon. Seriously. The form and function of this breed is its strong breed can cope with any terrain, and with lightly longer than tall, medium substance, it functions as both a retriever and a pointer, and its size and conformation reflects the compromise between the requirements of these jobs. Its gait is efficient and tirelessly with low, cat-like strides. The coat is of medium length, straight and wiry, with a fine, downy, thick undercoat. The combination provides a protection in the swampy country in which it was developed, as well as the insulation from the cold water. The abundant facial furnishings contribute to its friendly expression. I don't know if I would say this dog's friendly, but it is cute. Now, finally, we are at the final part of the video, the tier list. So, let me give you the rundown. 5, the best. 4 is better. 3 is average. 2 is worse. And 1 is the worst. Boom. Okay, so, depending on the situation. But energy level and exercise requirements is at a 4. I think this is the highest exercise requirements we've had so far. It needs a lot of exercise. It has a lot of energy. Playfulness, affection level, friendliness towards dogs, other pets, and strangers, and the ease of training are at a 3. Easy to train, very decently kind to everyone, kind of affectionate, kind of playful. The watchdog ability is at a 5, which is, I think, the highest we've had so far for a watchdog, but I could be wrong. Protection ability is at a 3, so relatively high. Grooming requirements are at a 3. So, 1 to 2 weeks of brushing, like I said. Cold tolerance is at a 3. So, can take the cold just fine. Heat tolerance is at a 2. That's new. So, probably can't take heat very well. Very fluffy. The weight of both a female and a male wire-haired pointing griffon is 50 to 60 pounds. Pretty heavy dogs. And the height of a male should be 22 to 24 inches, and a female 20 to 22 inches. Wow, look at that next dog. The next dog is gonna be, I'm lying to you. That's right, I'm lying to you. Because there is no next dog for this section of the dogs. We have, as a contended group, finished the first section of this book, the sporting group. We are finally done with the sorting group. So yeah, congratulations everyone. There's an ambulance or a cop car that just drove by my house. That was scary. Anyways, my dogs are going to start howling, speaking of dogs. So yeah, next time we'll be going on to the hound group. Very fun. But yeah, hope you guys do a fantastic, wonderful day. Be polite, be efficient, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.